This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin FREAKIN.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Sunday. Now, Justin hasn't been feeling all that good today, so if I have to rush to the Louvre and vomit, hopefully our guest, rapper Bryson Gray, will be here, and he'll be able to rap for you while I'm in the toilet. Ooh, Bryson, I see you just popped in. I can't hear you yet. I'll have to get you set up, but we'll be talking to rapper Bryson Gray in just a second. I'm going to play you a little bit of his new single. We listened to it last night on stream. I really liked it. I've already got it set to my favorite part. We're going to talk to him about the lyrics. I fucking love the beat in it. So very much looking forward to talking with rapper Bryson Gray here in just a little bit. Plus, later on in the show, we're going to discuss what really happened with the migrants on Martha's Vineyard. You're going to hear from one of the immigration attorneys that was representing them on the ground. Plus, Ron DeSantis' press conference about the migrants. And I have this fantastic video where Dennis Prager basically admits he hates kids. He hates kids. He does not care about boasting their self-esteem or bolstering their self-esteem. It's a fantastic clip. Marjorie Taylor Greene kicked an activist in the back of the leg the other day. We have video of that. The Republican state chair of Alabama refused to comply with voter ID laws. Says that showing ID has disenfranchised his family. You can't make this shit up, I swear. Plus, Michael Knowles and Ted Cruz cheering on the publicity stunt pulled by Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis over the weekend. And so much more here on the Troll Patrol live. But starting off, here's your meme of the day. You know what else they're up to? They're adding chemicals to the pretzels to turn us all thirsty. Let's start off. We've got a guest. I don't want to keep him waiting too long. Our guest this evening is Bryson Gray. I want to go ahead and play a little bit of his newest single, Bars for Christ. Oh my. My browser disappeared there. Man, maybe you have a point about them censoring you. If I put your video up and it just goes away. Damn, dude. We're gonna talk about censorship with Bryson. Maybe it was just Internet Explorer doesn't like you.
Hey, I'm trying to spread the gospel like a virus. I'm sick of why these other rappers trying to get their pockets fat like Lizzo. I'm a gun-toting, Bible thumping, yeah, that be my MO. I'm trying to show these people family matters, no Carl Winslow. Christ is king, I'm a fresh prince, where's Carlton? Say I ain't the realest, ain't no Kodak Black, I beg your pardon. Hey, these other rappers scared, but I'm the one like I'm James Harden. Trying to knock me off my square, they act like serpents in the garden. They them holy bars, I'm just getting ready for that holy war, preaching guys.
You can't say the man doesn't have talent, ladies and gentlemen. Bryson Gray, how are you this evening, my friend? Hold on. I've actually got to switch something here, or you're probably going to echo. 1 second. As soon as I can find it. Thank you for coming on, by the way. Oh, I've got you set up over here. I got to change it to where you're just hearing my microphone instead of the show feed. Okay, Bryson, welcome. Thank you, my friend.
What's up? Thank you for having me on. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I actually couldn't hear what you just said. The rest of the stream could. We're getting everything set up here. Bryson, now I can hear you, my friend.
Yeah, I said thank you for having me on. What's happening?
Brother, I'm finally glad to get to talk to you. It was about 2 years ago you popped into my stream, and you wanted me to watch your video. And I told you at the time, dude, I think you got some talent. But you keep ignoring me. You never would come on. I wanted to have you on, so I'm so glad to have you here.
Yeah, I'm a busy guy, man. I'm always traveling. I'm always doing something. So, it's hard to really make time for a lot of things.
Hey, man, I respect the hustle. I love your new single. Here's my first question for you. Do you do your own beats?
Some of them, not that one. My boy Don, who's also a Christian conservative, he made that beat. I think he's one of the best producers out right now, period.
Buddy, I first of all, I don't want you to be, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm a leftist. You and I are a little.
I know.
Okay.
I remember.
Okay, but I want to go ahead and say that your boy Don, he makes some fire beats. I mean, I respect talent.
Fire.
I respect talent, man, and you've got talent, and that's what I want to.
Thank you.
I want to try to find common ground here with you, and try to see what you're all about. Let you talk to an audience that you probably don't reach a lot, and hopefully, maybe I get to talk to some people that I don't get to reach. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. Fair. I talk to lefties a lot though. Some of them we find common ground. Sometimes we get along. You know what I'm saying?
You say you talk to lefties, but man, I feel like you've been ducking me.
Nah, I'm in this Discord, and there's a lot of lefties in there that every once in a while I pop in, and we all disagree because my views are very extreme, but we still have conversations.
Well, I mean, you do understand that your views are based on theology, which a lot of people do indeed consider extreme, right?
I mean, you could say that, but I can say the same thing about a lot of different views from leftists. Matter of fact, most of them I think are extreme. So of course,
I believe in a secular society. You want to have a society that's based on religious laws. That I want you to be able to practice your religion freely, but you want to impose your religion on me.
Well, it's already imposed. That's what this country is built upon.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Most of the founders were deists.
Nope. They all were baptized. They all ran a denomination.
Whoa. Thomas Paine was an atheist. Thomas Jefferson was an agnostic. Washington was a deist. Whoa. You can't just come on here and lie, dude.
I'm not lying. If you look it up right now,
I promise you, I've taken a shit ton of history classes. You are just straight up lying.
Leftists do not let people finish. It's typical. It's okay. I'm used to it. If you look it up, they became deists later in their lives. Every single one. When I say every single one, I mean every single one was a part of a Christian denomination in their early parts of their lives. That's just a basic fact.
Do not believe what Bryson says. Go to Monticello. That is the Thomas Jefferson archives. They will tell you that Thomas Jefferson was an agnostic. You cannot call him a Christian.
So what I'm going to do after this conversation...
Monticello is the... You know what Monticello is, right? It's the personal library and effects, the presidential library of Thomas Jefferson. Are you saying they're wrong?
Hey, bro, listen to me closely. Well, after this conversation, I'm going to send you the just clear evidence that he was a Christian in his early life, a part of a denomination, and believed in God. The most quoted book by the founders was the Bible. This is just common sense.
Whoa. That's not just common sense, dude. No. They quoted Locke and Hobbes and shit, dude. What are you talking about? Whoa. No, you can't just come in here and spit bullshit.
Ooh, man.
Man, if Monticello, Jefferson's library, says the man was an agnostic, how are you going to come in? First of all, the Bible says not to bear false witness. So how you coming in here not even comporting to your own Bible?
I'm not bearing false witness. I don't think you actually listening to what I'm saying. It's okay though.
How okay, Monticello says you can't call Jefferson anything but an agnostic.
Okay. I'm gonna just say it to you a little bit later, and then you just believe what you want to believe.
Monticello is Thomas Jefferson's library. I don't care what kind of propaganda you have.
Propaganda. Okay. I mean, bro. If you believe that, you very well you can.
I don't believe it. I know it to be a fact. That's
so
man, Bryson. Why you got to do this kind of shit?
Can I ask you a question? If I pull it up right now and send it to you, will you show it on your screen?
What are you wanting me to show exactly? Can you screen share? You should be able to screen share, can't you? Show us.
I'm gonna show it to you. Don't worry about it.
But I like. Do you realize in order to dispute Monticello, What kind of evidence are you going to have that's going to dispute Jefferson's personal library?
You said Monticello, right?
Monticello, yes. Jefferson's personal library.
Uh-huh. Oh.
And as Meatcakes is saying, you're saying early life. What does that have to do with later on? I don't understand.
See, and here we go. Now I feel like you already realized that I was correct, and now you're saying what does it matter? See, these are two different conversations. These are two different.
I don't ever think that he considered himself a Christian in his early life, but perhaps you have evidence. But I will tell you that Monticello says that you can't call him anything but an agnostic.
Okay.
Dude, Thomas Jefferson's own biography states that he even created a Bible that removed all the mysticism, dude. He wrote his own version of the Bible.
Mm-hmm. So I got a quick question. According to Monticello, did Thomas Jefferson believe in the Christian God?
Where in the fuck does it say that, Bryson?
Okay. So let me tell you the issue with the problem we have right here. You think because people don't subscribe, there's different type of Christians, and I'm gonna try to explain this. Hopefully, you don't interrupt me. There are different types of Christians. So what Monticello is saying is Thomas Jefferson wouldn't be considered a Christian in today's time because of his views, because he didn't believe in the divinity of Jesus Christ, though he believed in Jesus Christ. He believed Jesus was the Messiah, just didn't believe in his divinity. And the only reason he even had that type of behavior, that would be called a Unitarian.
It'd be called a pantheist.
A Unitarian.
Jefferson was closer to a pantheist, like Einstein. But this is irrelevant. But he was not Christian. You're saying that we were founded on Christianity when
we were. Jefferson.
No.
Let me ask you a question. Did Thomas Jefferson consider himself a follower of Christ?
No.
I have no more arguments for you. Oh Lord.
But I mean, we're just arguing like what people believed, and this is one of the things that I didn't really want to get into because I like to argue facts as opposed to, oh, this person believes this or this person is a bad person because of this. But just the idea that we were founded on Christianity instead of Locke and Hobbes and the Enlightenment philosophers, you can't just say it's a fact.
It is, and I'm explaining it to you again. Not only did Jefferson.
Okay, what about the country is Christian? What about Christianity is the country founded on?
Not only did he consider himself a follower of Christ according to your source, but he also said in your source that Christianity was the best religion for a republic. That's also quote Thomas Jefferson, and from your source,
yeah, you're probably taking something way out of context. Right wingers usually do.
No, that's what they said. Thomas Jefferson said, and that's your source, so you have to subscribe to it.
Oh, what'd you say he said?
I could read it to you straight from.
No, I'm looking it up, motherfucker. What'd you say he said?
I'm about to read you the exact quote again.
What'd you say he said?
He said that Christianity will be the best religion in a republic. Not only that, it was in this context that Jefferson said that I am a Christian, a quote which is often repeated or referred to without context. When he said I am a Christian, in only the sense that he wished that Jesus that Jesus wished anyone to be sincerely attached to his doctrines in preference to all others, describing himself. So not only did Jefferson consider himself a Christian, also according to your source, I can send you the link whenever you want. Now you just have to admit you're wrong, or you can argue all day. That's fine. There you go. Link in your Twitter DM. Yeah, read it. You have it up. I love it. Good job. Now go down. Read your own source, bud.
Let's, buddy. Let's.
Yeah, please.
I fucking love doing this shit, bro.
Yeah, awesome. And what you have to do is you go to the section that says Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson's religious beliefs have long been a subject of public discussion and were a critical topic in several of his important political campaigns as he was viciously and unfairly attacked for alleged atheism. Jefferson took the issue of religion very seriously. A man of enlightenment, he certainly applied to himself the advice which he gave his nephew Peter Carr in 1787, questioned with boldness even the existence of a God, because if there be one, he must more approve the homage of reason than that of blindfolded fear. Jefferson read broadly on the topic, including studying different religions, and while he often claimed that religion was a private matter between man and his God, he frequently discussed religion. Jefferson was deeply committed to core beliefs, for example, the existence of a benevolent and just God. Yet, as with any human, some of Jefferson's beliefs shifted over time and were marked by uncertainty, and he accepted that some of his less central beliefs might be wrong, e.g., his belief that everything in the universe had a wholly material existence, rather than there being both material and spiritual worlds. Jefferson insisted that such matters of dogma were not critical, telling one correspondent that on these, I reposed my head on that pillow of ignorance, which is a benevolent creator has made so soft for us, knowing how much we should be forced to use it. Care must also be taken in evaluating Jefferson's statements on religion, both because he often defined terms in rather idiosyncratic manner, and because many comments with literal religious significance must be understood in the context of social convention as much as theology. Still, much can be said about Jefferson's religion. Jefferson was a devout theist, believing in a benevolent creator God to whom humans owed praise. In an early political text, he wrote that God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time. He often referred to his or our God, but did so in the language of an 18th century natural philosophy. Our creator, the infinite power which rules the destinies of the universe, overruling providence, benevolent governor. Jefferson's views on the afterlife developed over time, and historians disagree on what he believed in this regard. As a young man, he seemed to have a relatively conventional view of heaven. A firm believer in man's free will, he thought that good works were the way to salvation, and that rewards and punishments for actions on earth were an important incentive for people to act ethically. Yet, as his views matured, particularly his materialism, he likely encountered doubts. As he aged, Jefferson spoke passionately about the prospect of meeting loved ones in heaven, assuring a bereaved John Adams after the death of his wife Abigail that it is of some comfort to us both that the term is not very distant at which we are to deposit in the same cerement our sorrows and suffering bodies, and to ascend in essence to an ecstatic meeting with the friends we have loved and lost, and whom we shall still love and never lose again. In the end, he seems to have believed in a heaven, or at least, as historian Johann Neem says, he had hope. Jefferson's views on prayer are even more ambiguous. He dismissed biblical miracles as myth, implying doubts about the efficacy of prayer, but he recognized an obligation of humans to worship God, and he often prayed publicly, at least in very broad terms. His second inaugural address included a prayer request for his listeners. I ask you to join with me in supplications that he, the being in whose hands we are, will so enlighten the minds of your servants, guide their counsels, and prosper their measures, that whatsoever they do shall result in your good, and shall secure to you the peace, friendship, and approbation of all nations. Of course, as with reference to an afterlife, these prayers might be understood in the context of social convention and political posturing. In the end, it can be said that he prayed, although apparently with little belief or expectation of miraculous divine intervention. Now, I'm going to turn you back on, Bryson, because the best you can say...
Why'd you... No. Why didn't you read the part I told you to read?
Oh, do you want me to read the fucking rest of it, dude?
No.
It is clear. Bryson.
Let me talk. Bro, you just talk about those time.
It is clear that the best you can do is say that he was a very conflicted man with a lot of different beliefs. That is why I went to great pains to read that, because I want everyone to be aware of exactly what we're talking about. So you making a bold declaration that he was a Christian is fucking wrong.
He said he was a Christian, and you purposely didn't read that section. You purposely did. I actually go to a specific.
Well, Jefferson was a firm theist. The God in which he believed was not a traditional Christian divinity. While Jefferson was a firm theist, the God in which he believed was not the traditional Christian divinity.
Oh, keep reading. Why not? The part I quoted is there.
No, you wanted to cherry pick, you dumb shit.
No,
that's my problem with right wingers.
No. I didn't cherry pick. He called himself a Christian. That's a fact, based on your source that you decided not to read. He also,
given these views, Jefferson's relationship with Christianity was complicated.
Hey, bro. So all you're doing and all this is saying is that what I said in the beginning
is wrong.
Right?
You stupid fuck. You can't say he was a Christian.
So I can't say he was a Christian in the way he said he was a Christian. He called himself a Christian though.
Yeah, I just read all that to you for a very good reason.
But he called himself a Christian, right?
Oh my God, you idiot!
Is that a fact or no? Is it a fact or no? Y'all, leftists, y'all like interrupting people. Y'all like yelling. Y'all like read like cherry picking certain things. But did he call?
I like cherry picking certain things. I read
Correct.
this whole
You
passage in order to prove to people that might follow you that your assertion that Jefferson was a Christian is incorrect. Now, did he dabble in religion? Was he well versed in religion? That's is correct.
Did he refer to himself as a Christian? This is a yes or no question. And I find
given these views, Jefferson's relationship with Christianity is complicated. That's what it says.
That doesn't answer my question. In this source that you're reading, because I asked you to read a specific part of this, and you decided to read the.
That's called cherry picking. I read the whole thing.
No, you did not. You didn't read the second part.
Given these views, Jefferson's relationship with Christianity was complicated. I'm not a liar.
Stop answering that. Did he call himself a Christian or not? Why can't you answer that question?
Oh my God! Not to my knowledge, no.
It says it
in this context that Jefferson said, "I am a Christian," a quote that is often repeated or referred to without context. What he said was, I am a Christian only in the sense in which Jesus wished anyone to be sincerely attached to his doctrines in preference to all others. Now, I would point out that Jesus said to give everything you own to the poor. Have you done that?
Hey, did he just say he's a Christian in the way Jesus wanted everybody to follow what his doctrine was? Is that what you just
what
called
that
it?
means? And I had this discussion with somebody earlier. Is that I try to actually follow Jesus's teachings myself. We don't think you guys do. That's the problem. Is that I try to love people and not judge them. I try to treat my neighbor the way I would want to be treated, and you guys seem incredibly hateful. Like, to me, you make rap music picking on the LGBTQ community, the marginalized who Jesus would take up for.
No, he wouldn't.
And you do it in order to make money.
No, you're
which
lying.
Jesus also, do you know what using the Lord's name in vain is? That is using God in order to enrich yourself and to promote yourself. Literally.
Okay. First off, you're just making up stuff. But now
no,
let me
I'm
correct
not.
you about this. I've already corrected you about one thing, so let me correct you again. First off, you know nothing about the Bible. You know nothing about Jesus' teachings. Because if you know anything about Jesus' teachings, you will understand.
He told you to
Jesus...
give everything you own to the poor.
Okay.
Literally, it is red letters.
Hey,
give everything
Justin.
you own to the poor and follow me. Have you done that? Because if you haven't, I don't really care what what you have to say about the Bible.
Justin, you don't even understand the context of what
he never said anything about gay people. Preached
what
all kinds of shit about rich people.
Can I ask you a question? Are you going to continue interrupting me, or are we going to have a conversation like adults? If you're going to continue interrupting me, then
have a conversation with me.
Continue reason. Okay, I'm trying to, but every time I try to talk, you end up interrupting me 10 seconds in. And I find that very interesting. So what you're quoting is he was talking to a specific rich man, because the rich man asked him, it's in the Bible 2 or 3 times, and he asked the rich man, what do I have to do for salvation? The first thing Jesus told him was to keep the commandments. He said, I've been keeping the commandments. So what else do I have to do? And then Jesus said, give up all of your riches and follow me. He was talking to this specific person, because if you continue reading, this man was not willing to give up his specific riches to follow Jesus Christ. He was talking to a specific person to test him further,
Bryson,
and he failed the test.
Every Christian always says he's talking to a specific person. And my response is, well, he's talking to a specific person on the cross when he tells the thief on the cross that the only way to heaven is believe in him. So you guys can't just believe in him. Then the Old Testament law still stands, because that's where the new covenant comes from.
I believe the Old Testament.
But you guys want to cherry pick. You want to say,
no,
he wasn't just talking to one person in that instance.
No, you're confused. I keep the commandments of the Old Testament. So
is your shirt of a blended fabric?
No, this is 100% cotton. And when it comes to blended fabric, it's referring to wool and linen. Bro, this is why you need to stop talking about the Bible out of ignorance. You're talking to somebody that actually knows the Bible. You can't do these tricks that you pull on other Christians.
Do you eat shellfish?
I don't eat seafood at all. I keep the commandments simple. These questions don't work on me.
Well, okay, fair enough. Most people don't.
I know that. But here's the issue. right? The issue is when you speak of the Bible and say things like Jesus never talked about gay people, Jesus was a rabbi, my brother. He had a Bible. He had a Bible already that he taught from, that in John 10:34, he called the word of God. That Bible is what Christians call the Old Testament today, or in ancient terms, it is called the Tanakh, and the first 5 books is called the Torah. This is what Jesus taught. That's why in Matthew, Jesus said that it is going to be harder for unrepentant cities in the days of judgment than it will be for the city of Sodom. He understands that because he was a teacher and keeper of the law. So when you say love thy neighbor, you have to understand the biblical context of what that means. First off, if you are a homosexual or you committed incest or you committed bestiality, you're supposed to be either deported or killed anyway. Leviticus 18, Leviticus 20. So I don't think you understand the context of the things you're saying.
I do. I will admit that most people I am able to trip up because they don't actually follow Levitical law, and it's a gotcha. But hey, fair enough. You put your money where your mouth is. Fair enough. Other than, that you fucking promote yourself using God and make money off of I promote God.
No, I promote God. That's what I do. I mean, I don't make money from a congregation. I don't make money from no church.
You make money from your music, though, don't you?
My music get on platforms because how else are you going to reach everybody? And then they decide to stream it because they already paid for Spotify. They already paid for Apple Music. They already have iTunes. So then they use that to support my music. I'm not begging anybody to support it.
The chat's betting that your hat's mixed fabric, that your underwear is mixed fabric and shit. But, I really don't care.
My underwear is also 100% cotton. Also, once again, the context of mixed fabric is not all mixed fabrics. It is wool and linen. Y'all need to pick up a Bible. Stop.
Well, here's the thing: it's ancient mythology. It's Bronze Age mythology. So I don't actually believe in it. Yes.
It's not.
Let's come at this from a different way. Let's see if I can get you to be honest about this. Who wrote the Book of Matthew?
Wrote the Book of Matthew. Some people say Matthew, but then a lot of scholars say we don't know the actual Book of Matthew because it's not signed as Matthew. So Matthew never, and then it talks about Matthew in the third person in the text. So from a scholarly sense, we don't actually know the literal writer of the Book of Matthew. But
Fucking props, dude. Seriously, you have done well with all the questions that I usually catch up nonsense Christians in. So fucking fair.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure, come at me.
If the Bible is false, which I'm assuming a lot of people believe.
Yes. Not false. Okay. It's an amalgamation of stories that people used to tell. Okay, I don't believe that Jesus was a real person. I believe it's a bunch of stories put together to form a person.
Wait, the issue is, but the same scholars also, even atheist scholars, they all confirm that Jesus was a real person.
Do you know what their argument is? Their argument is called the argument from embarrassment, that Christians wouldn't make up a person named Jesus and then have him crucified. That's their argument for why they believe that he was real.
No, so Jews don't believe Jesus is the Messiah. But if you read the Talmud, they understand that Jesus was a real person. They document Jesus in the Talmud. They talk about him in a disrespectful way. They talk about him as if he was a crazy lunatic.
Wait. They talk about somebody who didn't exist before when the book was
This is interesting. Once again, scholars, the consensus is that Jesus was a real person. Amongst atheist scholars also, it's not just Christians. Secondly, my question
I told you what their reasoning was for why they think he exists. I'm not both of us know what we're talking about. Fair enough, Bryson. We can quit with the gotcha here.
It's not a gotcha. This is just simple. Also, my second question would be, if the Bible didn't exist, right? And we have to at least say that it has some interesting discoveries in it, and one of them being the flood. And a lot of people love to bring.
Well, there was no ancient flood. There was no worldwide flood that never happened.
That's not my question. You can believe that. But it's my question. Why in every culture, in every society in the history of this world, they all have a story of a global flood? Why is that?
Okay, to them, global is just a few mile radius because they don't fucking know, right? And as we see here in current times, there are floods. And we're also talking about when you talk about ancient cultures, you're talking about the different mythologies that sprung up in the Middle East are all in one specific area, correct? They're in one little circle in the Middle East.
So the issue with that response is that not only does every society have a have a story of an ancient flood, and 87% of these.
But Bryson, like Pakistan, a third of Pakistan's underwater right now. Also, Mississippi, also flooding. Like that's to the people that live there. If they didn't have worldwide communication, they would think it's a worldwide flood. Correct?
So in 87% of these societies that believe in a worldwide flood, they also believe 87% of them believe that there was a favored family or a favored person that survived the flood, a favorite person. So 87% of these societies have that same aspect to the story also. Now, how would you explain that within the rest of the argument you've been making?
Most ancient societies also have heroes that fit the hero archetype, and Jesus fit the hero archetype. These are, it's like everybody's going to come to the conclusion that the circumference of a circle is pi, Bryson.
So let me get this straight. Your argument is that even though every society in the world has a similar story and a favorite person or a family, even though that is very similar, you're saying that this is all goop.
You're saying favored person, but like there were kings.
A favorite person that survived the flood. That's what 87% of every society says about their.
I don't believe it's 87%. I don't believe you. But like
okay.
that's a very simple story. There's a reason why ancient stories are all similar and they sprung up from different, like the story of Beowulf, right? Like have you ever taken a literature class, dude, and studied this shit?
So I just want to confirm your belief system is that they all made it up, even though it's very similar stories from people that they had no way of communicating.
Okay, I just gave you the example. Pakistan flooding versus Mississippi flooding. So if those two events happened in ancient times, are you saying that they wouldn't both come to similar stories about the events, absent knowledge of how the world works? That's where mythology comes from, right? So primitive people can't explain why it rains. So they come up with the idea of God. It's called a God of the gaps theory, right? So when people can't explain stuff, they look to some kind of a creator that controls these things. And Sky Comet brings it up. The story of Noah was ripped off of the story of Gilgamesh, which predates the story of Noah.
There we go. The story of Gilgamesh. Well, I love people bring this up. This is my favorite argument that people make. Oh, everyone, right? Because this helps my point. Because the issue is, I think people are confused. Moses wrote the book of Genesis. Moses wrote the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. And since Moses wrote the first 5 books of the Bible, he wrote it obviously after these things happened. So you saying it happened from before, it doesn't change the fact that it happened. But every society has a similar story. It's not just a flood. You keep focusing on the flood aspect of the story. There's multiple aspects to that story that the majority of societies.
How could there have been a worldwide flood that Noah was in, and we have text that predates that flood?
Oh boy, y'all have a hard time listening. We can go to the next topic because it's hard to have conversations. Because when people interrupt you, it's because they're listening to respond. They're not listening to understand. So we can just go to the next topic.
Bryson, you say are you claiming that the worldwide flood in the story of Genesis happened?
Correct. I believe it happened. Yes.
Then how do we have the text of Gilgamesh, which predates it? Wouldn't everything have been wiped out?
I think you're confused. When the Bible was written, the stories that are in Genesis had already happened, which is why Moses wrote about them. Are you confused about that? Is there confusion? So it happened before. Do you understand now, or I don't know?
The flood in Gilgamesh happened chronologically before Noah's flood. How would we know about it if Noah's flood wiped everything out?
Once again, I don't think you understand what I'm saying. I think it's because I don't know how much you know about biblical history. So I don't think you understand what I'm saying.
I don't give a shit about biblical history, Bryson. I give a shit about history.
That's it. See, we can't. It's like we can't even have that aspect of the conversation because all I'm gonna do is keep repeating myself. It's just simple. I'm just keep repeating myself, bro. I don't think
let's talk about Trump. You're a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Why did you waver?
It's not waver. He's been a little cringe the last year and a half, but
Please, let's hear this. I want to hear your thoughts, man. Please, let's have it.
So I mean, I can start. Obviously the jab, the juice. He was pushing the juice.
Wait, dude, wait. It's not the insurrection. It's fucking the vaccine.
It's multiple things, but the juice is at first. Because at first, I mean, I don't mind Trump. I don't mind Trump disagreeing. He thinks it's a good thing. But then you have over 1 million adverse reported reactions to it. Over 1 million reported adverse.
You're talking about VAERS, right?
Yeah, you can argue that they're not valid, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter. If you have over 1 million of something, it should be investigated, period, point blank. I feel like most people would agree to that. And the simple fact that he didn't even...
Bryson, hold. You understand how VAERS works, right?
It's a self-reporting website.
Yes. So a lot of anti-vax nuts go on there and just say bullshit.
You can say that, right? But if 1 million people do something, you don't think it should be viewed, looked at, or investigated.
They did. That's what VAERS is about.
All the adverse reactions was not investigated yet. That is not true, bro.
That's what VAERS is for, is investigating claims.
That is what it's for, but those claims have not been investigated yet.
And you're basing that on what?
Go look it up yourself. See if the VAERS reports have been investigated. Look it up.
Have you?
Can I continue? Yes, I have. Can I continue now?
Chat, will you look that up for us? Yeah, continue.
Please. Okay, thank you. So once again, this is when the reports first started coming in, just to be clear. And Trump was questioned about it, and he just responded and said nobody's dying from it, nobody's having adverse reactions from it. And I thought that was a little inconsiderate and ignorant from my point of view. And a lot of leftists loved it, which is why the next day the leftists was like, Trump owns his own supporters. Rah, Trump finally said something correct. Blah, 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 blah. But the fact that he didn't even acknowledge the reports is kind of insane to me. And then the January 6th thing, that one pissed me off because I performed for free at a lot of benefit concerts for a lot of patriots. And they were like begging. They're like, yo, where is Trump? Why is he not helping us? But in the same time, one of his, like in the last 2 weeks in office, he pardoned rappers. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of like, I don't know, that's kind of sad. And then a lot of people he support for their run, it sort of seemed like he get paid to endorse people. So a lot of that stuff irritated me. But
well, okay, first of all, he is a grifter. He has always been a like we seem about the same age, Bryson. You grew up in the 80s, right?
What? Heck no, I am 31.
Oh, okay. I've got a few years on you. I was born in 84, man. I remember.
Oh, my brother. My brother was
remember,
born 84, 86, one of them.
Man, I remember when Trump was always a fucking joke. It wasn't until the end of the 2000s when they... No, seriously.
Trump was always liked in culture, bro. That's not
true. No. Trump has always been the butt of a joke in popular culture. Up until The Apprentice. No.
Not true, bro.
Have you seen Back to the Future?
Bro, just because you see one people making jokes about him.
No, it's not one person making jokes about him, dude. Like, he was the butt of the joke.
I can show you so many rappers going to his parties back in the day. I can show so many movies he was in or people that loved him. I can show that.
He paid to be in those movies. Kind of like how you paid me to watch your music video. Or in order for them to film in Trump Tower, he would have to appear in the movie. Did you not know that?
Oh my goodness!
Because you guys are clout chasers. That's what right wingers do. You clout chase.
Yeah, right wingers are the clout chasers, bro. Trump has been looked at well upon it from all my life, and I've been alive 31 years, and I've been popular all my life. So if something was different, or most people hated Trump, I would have been somebody to know, especially in the black community at least. So I can't speak about most of this.
He's always been a joke. They rehabilitated him with a show called The Apprentice, where people got the impression that he was a successful businessman. But instead, no, he has been bankrupt multiple fucking times. Yeah.
So, bro,
he has always been a joke.
Every billionaire has had multiple companies go bankrupt. Do you know how businesses work?
He's not a billionaire. A court ruled that he may have $350 million if he's not encumbered by debt, and there is no way that he's not encumbered by debt. That's why he's out here doing all these rallies, trying to raise money off of the gullible people.
This is just crazy.
Lifelong grifter. He is a lifelong grifter. Wade.
Everybody disagree. Everybody disagree with probably a grifter. I'm a grifter. Everybody's a grifter, even though. you know, bro, I've been living in the black community all my life, and I've always been popular. I performed at all the HBCUs. I've always been had some type of independent success in music.
Man, dude, you're talented. I started off, dude. I love the bars you drop, but I just don't understand why you got to attack the LGBTQ community. Why do you have to play?
Oh, that's easy.
Why do you have to play to the lowest common denominator? Well, I have my own opinions on why you do it.
Of course you do, right? The typical left-wing opinions.
I think you're a closeted gay man, and you really want to suck a dick, and I think you should. Dick is yummy.
Bro, this is my favorite thing. I was just in a Discord, somebody brought this up too. They said, because it's me and a few other conservatives that we told them our true beliefs about the LGBT that I can't say on this platform because it'll get you banned.
You're a cute guy, man. Fucking go to an orgy.
Bro. I'll do no gay stuff, bro. I'm trying to have a conversation. Leave the gay stuff out, bro. No cap. But so this is the typical thing, right? And I love when y'all say this thing about people that criticize the LGBT community. Before I tell you why I do it. But the funniest aspect about it is you're trying to use homosexuality as a negative thing. And I love that you do it, right? Oh, I want to piss you off.
I suck dick, dude.
Hey, bro, you don't have to say that. That's stuff. I don't want to say that's gonna get you banned. Just stop saying stuff that's on you, because I feel like you're trying to make me.
You're telling me that it's negative, but I suck dick. I don't understand.
Bro, stop, bro. I'm trying to not get you banned. So I feel you're trying to force my hand and say something's gonna get you banned. I don't want to. So just stop saying like super inappropriate things, bro.
It's not inappropriate.
Outside of it being disgusting, because homosexuality is disgusting. Outside of that alone,
why is it disgusting?
Because I don't like super vulgar talking. You know what I'm saying? Like why? But back to what I was saying.
Oh, that's what I do on this show, sir.
Back to what I was saying, y'all like using homosexuality as a negative with a negative connotation. Y'all like using that. So if somebody criticizes LGBT, your attack on somebody who criticizes them is to say, well, you're secretly gay. And you don't understand that you're at that point talking about LGBT in a negative sense. I agree with that aspect of it. It is negative. So I love when you use it. I call everything gay too.
No.
I call everything gay too, bro. Don't stress yourself.
I'm telling you, as someone who has sucked dick, you will feel a lot better after you do.
Bro.
I am telling you, it's not a negative thing. That's why I don't understand.
If you keep doing this, bro, because I genuinely don't want to get you banned, I don't think you're
Why do you keep saying that?
I think you're an abominable human being. I don't think you're a terrible human being though.
Why are you saying that to me, bro? I don't think you're an abominable human being.
I'm saying that because it's biblical. But outside of it being biblical, bro, I'm literally just leave. You keep talking about like homosexual stuff, bro. It's disgusting to me.
I want to know. You keep attacking them. You use them to make money. No. Why do you attack them? Money.
So okay, now I can answer the question. Thank you. I don't attack them. It's a response, and the reason I do it because the LGBT is a literal gang, is a literal mob, and all they do is celebrate sin. And you know what's funny? The first time I was ever overwhelmed in my life, because I didn't grow up around a lot of homosexuals. You knew one or two around the way. So I've never been around a bunch of them. I've never been like fond of gay people. I don't like the way they act. As a man, it's disgusting. But I tried to go preach to people at an LGBT event earlier this year. A lot of preachers was going out there. They said, Bryce, you should come out here. I said, okay, I'll try it. And I've never seen as many gay people at one place at one time. The way y'all dress is almost like y'all purposely trying to be disgusting. And I was literally I was so disgusted at that Pride event. I literally felt like a punk because I had to leave. And I was like, the LGBT, y'all win this round. I'll give it to y'all because I was so disgusted. And
why were you disgusted, Bryson?
Bro, it's a bunch of grown men acting very feminine.
I'm sure there were plenty of women there too.
Yes.
I'm sure it was a very diverse group.
Bro, when women act feminine, that's the way they're supposed to act. When they dress up and act like a man, it's disgusting also. But it's more disgusting when a grown man changes his voice, walk with this little twang, like when they do stuff with their hands, how gay people talk. And they go out there dressing like women. Most human beings find that most humans find that disgusting.
That's actually not true.
No. Most humans across the earth find that disgusting.
No, that is not true.
In most places in Africa is disgusting. Most places in the Middle East is disgusting. Most places outside of the West, that is disgusting.
Dude, do you want to hold up the Middle East as something you want to be like? That's what we're trying to stop. You want some kind of theological society where people are oppressed. I want freedom. That's what America's supposed to be about, freedom, right? So the people in the LGBT community can go down to the fucking park and have their little parade, and you can go to your church and have your thing. Why can't we coexist, dude? Why?
Because homosexuals is not about coexisting. They think they should enforce their ideology on everybody else in the world. And the reason I say that,
who is enforcing? Give me an example of enforcing ideology.
They're a mob. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. My song Pride Month got banned on Spotify. My song Pride Month got banned on YouTube. My song Pride Month got banned on Apple Music. I didn't even say my favorite word on there. My favorite word is a British cigarette. I didn't even say it. I just talked about the Bible.
Why is that your favorite word, man? Like, do you not understand?
It's funny. I've said it all my life. It's hilarious.
First of all, I use the word a lot.
I'm about to say, you probably used to say it growing up, too.
I use the word a lot myself. But once again, I suck dick, so I get to say it, sir.
Bro, oh my goodness, dog. Why? Like, why?
But, like, you have, Bryson, there is this, like, you can see, like, hatred seething in you. It seems very unhealthy.
Why everybody think, bro? Why do people think because I criticize something I hate it? I don't hate gay people.
Because you were sitting over here like, these people and
they're
like,
disgusting.
it was weird. But you didn't have to go down there. You did not have to see them. You did not have to interact with them.
I felt like I did because God tells you to warn people. And I went
God tells you to turn the other cheek and to love thy neighbor.
What?
And to be accepting.
They're not.
They don't believe in your God, so why can't you leave them alone?
Because I need to go tell them about their sin. I need to go tell them to repent. That's what my job is.
No. And if you're doing it just to get your rocks off, like that is not what God told you to do. You're doing it to feel morally superior, aren't you, Bryson?
I had no cameras. I didn't go out there with cameras.
I didn't say that. I said you're doing it so you feel morally superior.
No. I went down there.
And it's weird. Like, I don't like you were seething when you were describing them.
No,
why?
You think it's seething, but I just find them disgusting. I don't hate gay people.
Man, I find pickles disgusting, but I don't go around fucking bashing everybody that likes pickles.
I don't. What you think? Calling them to repentance is bashing them? That's kind of sad. That's sad to me. That you think me telling them to repent and turn from their wicked ways is bashing them.
No. You're saying you should not be who you were born to be because of my book of mythology. It's absurd, Bryson. It's okay if you want to follow your book. You can't force it on other people.
So I have a question. Do you think it's okay when I almost said my favorite word? Do you think it's okay when the LGBT community goes to boycott ChickfilA or goes to boycott places? Do you think it's okay for them to go out there and yell at people?
Yes, that is them exercising their free speech in a capitalist society.
Wait. So nothing is wrong with them when they do it. But when I go to attempted to go, I lost. But when I go to a pride parade to try to preach to them, oh, that's wrong at that point, though, huh?
I didn't say it was wrong, but
yes, you did.
No, I'm saying, why did you go down there if they repulse you? I don't go and watch people eat pickles because I hate pickles.
But see, I explained that already. I went there to preach to them. That's why I attempted to try to preach to them. But
that's perfectly within your rights, just like it was within the rights of the people in ChickfilA. But I don't understand why you would do that.
I don't. Why? I just told you. I just helped you understand. I don't know what else there's to understand. My Bible says in Ezekiel 3:18 through 19. The Bible tells me to warn wicked people about them, because if I don't do it, their blood will be on my hands. But
okay, cool. Well, you make your songs and everything. So why do you feel the need to go get into their space?
Because if I just do it from songs, here's my thing. If I just do it from music, and you got these preachers out here that's actually like pitting, like really going out there in the streets and doing it, then I felt like then that would be sort of maybe a grifter. Because it's easy to do something from behind a computer screen. It's easy to do something with music, right? Even though I find that I do the aspect is important. I'm a person that like to be in the streets. I'm a person that like to be in the field. I want to be right there on the battlefield. So that's why I went out there.
Okay, so when I was in college, I met a nun named Sister Cherrypicking. Are you familiar with her?
No.
She is an advocate against the death penalty. She goes and she sits with the condemned in their last moments. The Green Mile, or one of those movies, was made about her. So that was what her religious conviction called her to do, and that's admirable. And I fucking think she's an amazing woman.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
that fits your viewpoint. But the Bible clearly says certain people should be put to death.
I thought Jesus was put to death to absolve people of their sins.
Jesus still said it's going to be worse for those. Going to be worse for the unrepentant cities. You still have to repent.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. Say I give you like fucking whatever the Bible says. Why does that have any bearing on our society? When you're arguing public policy, why don't you argue for the poor, the sick, the people who are marginalized? Because when I read the Bible, that's who Jesus advocated for. You seem to advocate for rich bougie people.
Yeah, that's not true either. But so just to make sure this is clear, I do believe in giving to the poor. I do it all the time. I don't tip less than $100 whenever I go eat. No matter how much my bill can be $20, I still tip $100.
Fucking fantastic! Thank you, man.
Great. So and I don't do it on camera. I don't record it. I just do it. This is what I do. And the reason I do that because my Bible tells
But you get on camera and bash the LGBTQ community.
I don't bash them. I tell them the truth.
So you don't get on camera and advocate for the poor and the sick.
What do you mean?
Your songs are bashing the LGBTQ community. They aren't advocating like, hey guys, go out and tip your server like $100 on the meal.
I've done that a few times. When I matter of fact, I'm the one who started the 2020 train on low things. Like a lot of this stuff that I was already doing. So I do this in real life. Like I don't understand what you're saying. My songs, and I don't only talk about the LGBT community in my songs. That's just the people that get the most sensitive about it. So those are the people that report the songs. Like
you
everybody
say
else
get the most sensitive, but you came and paid me $50 to watch your video. I wouldn't have even known it existed.
That was hilarious. I didn't need that. I was already popular, but that was hilarious when I watched people react to my songs. Well, yours wasn't that hilarious because you didn't get overly triggered. So yours wasn't as funny, but I went and did a few other ones.
No. I didn't get overly triggered. One, I praised you for it being I overly triggered. I told you that it was I told you that you were musically talented, and then I asked you why you would attack a community like that, and why you wouldn't feel that your time would be better served advocating for the poor.
Yeah, but the issue is yours wasn't.
The issue is you don't get fucking clicks for advocating for the poor. You get clicks bashing the LGBT community.
I talk about everything in my music. I talk about everything on my platforms. Music is not the only people follow me. I go live. I tell people this. I tell people to help people all the time. Every conservative influencer that I believe is pushing something righteous, I put my money where my mouth is. I go
every time I watch you. It is just culture war nonsense for clicks, man. That's all I ever.
This is cap. Before I got banned on Twitch, what I was known for on Twitch was to go onto smaller streamers and giving them like 100 subs that I've never met in my life. Don't even know what their political beliefs are. So to act like that every time you see me doing something, that is just not true.
Every time I tune into your Facebook lives, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, this is.
I can't speak. I can only speak for the small sample. You're saying it's not true, and I will openly admit it's been a small sample. But I popped in at least 10, 15 times, and it's always you're doing culture war nonsense. You're talking about whatever the headlines are. What?
No. The culture war is the most important thing that's going on in society right now.
Is it really?
Period. Yeah, easily by far. It's not even close. This is not even. This is not
wealth
even,
inequality greater than it's ever been in the history of the earth, and you think culture war nonsense is more important than advocating for the poor?
Yes, correct. Because the poor are not the ones that's actually struggling. Middle class people are struggling more than poor people in this country. Do you want me to explain to you how?
Wow. Well, that's wild.
Do you want me to explain to you how? It's very simple. Do you know a lot of poor people, like genuinely?
I am a poor person.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Poor people, and I'm gonna use my aunt for a perfect example, and you probably know people like this.
Yeah, I don't walk around in Gucci shirts, motherfucker.
Yeah. Granted, I don't regret buying this shirt because I think it's fly, but it is a little like,
hey, dude, it looks good on you. I didn't want to bring that up, and I waited a long time to do it. But now you're talking to me about advocating for poor people. I'm a motherfucker. I got evicted a few months ago, motherfucker.
Listen, here's the thing. So a lot of my family is poor. Most of my family is poor, right? My dad grew up super poor. The thing about poor people, though, bro, is I'm using my aunt for an example because I should bring her on one day so I can show you because she's hilarious.
They're saying it's a knockoff, and I trust Media Winch. So Maybe. Oh, now we've insulted him. I'm sorry, Bryson.
These knockoffs too, bro. Come
Buddy,
on, man.
now
you're
you're showing your status symbol.
See, look, I didn't want to flex, but don't say something's a knockoff. Anybody that know this shirt, anybody knows anything about designer, you know it's not a knockoff. You can't even get a knockoff that look like this. Well, I don't know if you can or not, but I'm sure you can't.
So godly.
It's not about being guys like don't why cap? Like I know people want to insult me. Oh, insult the
dude, you want to insult the
Like,
fucking LGBTQ community.
But okay, let me finish explaining this, right? My aunt gets $700 in food stamps. My aunt got kicked because she grew up in a bad situation, right? She had no parents. Her mother died when she was like a week years old. Her dad, even though she's younger than me, her dad was my dad's dad, and he never was around. He's dead now also. So when my aunt turned 18, she got kicked out, so she moved in with us. This is how I know. My parents have always been together all their life. Middle class. At certain points, they could be considered higher middle class. We used to buy food stamps from my aunt because she got $700 a month in food stamps because she had a child. Middle class people don't get them. Middle class people don't get that right there. We have to struggle more. We have to actually paycheck to paycheck. We don't get free money from the government when you middle class. That doesn't happen. Only the poor get help from the government, and only the rich get help from the government. This is a fact.
Actually, Bryson, like if you own a home, mortgage subsidies are more than I ever owed in student loans. So there's a lot of things that the middle class get that aren't considered handouts, and I can show you some resources on that. But like I don't want to begrudge anybody in the middle class, but I also don't think you should pick on the poor. Why can't you pick on the poor? Why can't you?
I'm saying they get free money from the government.
So does the middle class.
No.
First of all, the bottom 50% of income earners pay no federal income tax. Most people get more money from the federal government than they take in.
No. Let me explain what I mean. Middle class people, when they want to eat and go get groceries, it's coming out of what they worked for. Poor people don't work for the money.
That's great. But I don't begrudge the poor person.
I'm just saying.
And also, I've been on
handouts.
food stamps, and it wasn't $700 a month I got. It was like $195, and I think that was, and this was in 2008, and that was extra because it was like during the recession.
Do you have kids?
I have no kids. No.
See, this is the issue. Once you have kids, especially if you're a woman with kids,
well, I don't want kids to go hungry, man. What's wrong?
Listen,
what's wrong with giving a single mom give her more than $700? And
what,
first of all, I want to give everybody in America food stamps. That's a proposal I have. That way, it takes the stigma that you are putting on it off of them. Everybody gets $400 a month in food stamps. Nobody goes hungry.
Bro,
we're all better off.
And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that this is my experience, but people in the chat are honest. If anybody in the chat knows a lot of people on food stamps, you cannot say I'm lying. And this may be.
I was on food stamps. I just told you.
Wait, let me finish. This may be more exclusive to the black community. I don't know. People with food stamps, they sell half of their food stamps.
Yeah, sometimes I would sell $20 of my food stamps to get a nugget pot, dude.
Hey, exactly. So let's not. Here's the thing. My aunt. She used to sell half of her food stamps and then keep the rest for her kids.
But I don't care. I don't begrudge them for that.
You don't care that they get more money than they actually need for food?
I don't think they're getting more money than they actually need. I think food stamps are woefully inadequate.
Bro, a lot of these women
I don't like your anecdotes. I don't like your bashing the poor people.
But this is true.
Hold on. Bryson, how much money did ExxonMobil get from the federal government last year?
I've already said the rich people.
How much money did ExxonMobil get from the federal government? I know an actual. So you knew the total that your aunt on food stamps got. I know the money. I know the dollar amount that ExxonMobil got last year.
But I've already said the elites and the poor people get help from the government.
But you are focused on poor people exclusively, it seems.
No.
You want to say, I hate rich people too, but your focus seems to be exclusively on the poor people.
I don't. By the way, I don't hate rich people at all.
You should hate rich people. Jesus said it was easier for a camel to pass through the eye of the needle than a rich person to go to heaven. Yes.
Yeah, but a lot of people
told the rich person to give everything he owned to the poor.
Yeah. Joseph was rich. Moses was a leader. He had everything he wanted. So I mean, some people can make it, but that's neither here nor besides the point. The aspect of the conversation was about me referring to how poor people get more help than middle class people. So that's why I focus on the poor people. There's no point to say.
But you were also wrong on that because like fucking.
No, I wasn't. It's true.
People, no. Look up mortgage subsidies,
bro.
Look up mortgage subsidies.
The number one thing people with food stamps spend their food stamps on is soda. It's not even sandwich meat. That's number 10 on the list.
I don't care.
They're just buying.
Dude, once again, you knew a list of what poor people spend their money on. I knew the dollar amount. $3.5 trillion is what ExxonMobil got from the federal government last year. Our priorities are completely different here, man.
Our priorities are different, bro.
I want you to join with me to get the fat cats to give up their welfare. I don't care about the poor woman buying soda with her food stamps. I honestly don't.
And the fact that you don't is once again, it's
$3.5 trillion
That's crazy,
to ExxonMobil, one of the most profitable companies in the history of the world. Why is that not more of an issue than your aunt getting $700 a month?
First off, I was one of the main people saying that we shouldn't bail out banks, we shouldn't bail out these rich people. So I already agree
don't care, man. Your focus is on bashing poor people and the LGBTQ community.
The aspect of the conversation required me to bring up half about poor people because you asked me about it. Now, this fact that
I didn't. You decided to talk about it.
The fact that you don't care about how they abused taxpayer funded.
No. What is the abuse rate in welfare programs? Like, it is minuscule, dude.
Nobody even no.
There is a number. You can look it up. I can't tell you what it is off the top of my head, but it is minuscule.
Okay, explain to me. So I know how this works. I used to buy food stamps from my aunt. Listen, the way it works is they go to the grocery store and they swipe their own card a lot of times.
I don't care.
So what's the point of bringing up stuff? I know you don't care because you know why you don't care? Because you don't live. I don't think you understand the real world, bro.
No, I don't think you do. I care about ExxonMobil getting $3.5 trillion.
How about Ukraine getting billions? You care about that?
Yes, I talk about it all the fucking time. We shouldn't be sending Ukraine billions.
Okay. Now we can find some common ground. Okay.
No. I want to go back to why do you want to attack poor people? Why do you want to attack the LGBTQ community?
I don't attack poor people.
You knew a list of the top 10 things food stamps are spent on off the top of your head, dude.
Yes, because we need to cut that.
Why?
We need to cut. We just cut how much money we give people for food stamps.
Okay. Fair enough. If I give you that's an issue, will you give me that ExxonMobil is more of an issue?
Well, it depends. If it was a bailout, then yes, it's an issue. It depends on what they got the money for. I'm not
$3.5 trillion in subsidies.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And you didn't even seem to know about it, man.
I didn't know about that one. But I know about how much money we give to other countries. I know about banks getting bailed out. I know about airline companies getting bailed out. Bro, I know a million things that you don't know. You probably know about something that I don't know. I do research every day, bro. You're going to miss a few things. That's reality. So let's just stop
I'm not focused on what poor people spend their money on. I'm focused on actual public policy that matters.
Bro, I know statistics. I know policies. I know statistics on a lot of things. I know a lot of different policies, bro. I don't understand the point. Why can't I walk and chew gum at the same time?
Because Jesus specifically said to take care of the poor.
That don't mean you give them more than what they need.
I don't think they're getting more than what they need at all. I think it is woefully inadequate. And I think you sit there in your Gucci shirt and you're fucking, how much did you spend on those sneakers? And you pass judgment on people and you have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is actually correct. And everything I've said thus far has been actually quite correct. You just don't like it for some reason. And why does me having a Gucci shirt matter? Why,
it may be correct that the number one thing they spend. It may be correct that the number one thing they spend their money on, or their food stamp on, is soda. I don't care. I don't care.
Why does
good on them? Enjoy a soda.
No. Why does me having a Gucci shirt, Balenciaga shoes matter? I also have on some polo shorts. I have another pair of Balenciagas right there, and I got 4 pair of Yeezys right there. So what does that mean? Is that bad? Because do you know what I do? Like why?
Will you please make a donation to one of my fucking things down in the description then, since you're flexing?
I gave you $50 to watch a music video for my personal entertainment.
Two years ago.
I go around donating people all the time that I support. I literally tip
$100. You're talking about how much you give people. So fucking, I told you I got evicted a few months ago. Down there in the description.
so-
you put your money where your mouth is, Bryson.
Yeah, my issue with donate, and you can call this, you can say this is like not a good thing. My issue with donating to leftists and liberals is sometimes I do on rare occasions. The reason I don't, because I do believe the culture war is more important. I feel like they're my enemy in the culture war, so I feel like I'm funding my enemies.
I know you look at me as your enemy. I'm sure Jesus would love that about you. Even though I tried to have you on here, I tried to be nice to you and tell you that you're talented and shit, man.
Bro, I never. But
everybody in the chat is like, yes, you make Christians look bad.
Bro, because they don't know nothing about Christianity on the Bible, which is fine. But here come my
Nobody
thing.
wants to know Christianity in the Bible. Looking at you, dude.
Bro, I haven't called you a bad name. I haven't yelled at you.
You said you wanted to multiple times.
No, I said I wanted to use the language I typically use in day-to-day life that you said you use too, so I don't think you would get offended by it. But well, never mind.
I wouldn't.
But
no.
Okay, cool. See, that's cool. But I respect people like that. I talk to leftists literally every day, bro, and sometimes we respect each other. But I still tell them when it comes to the culture war, you are still my enemy in that
Why?
aspect. And it's not to say we can't converse, but it's the reality, bro. I deal in reality.
Bryson, I don't think you do.
Things.
The culture war is meant to distract you from the economic war. They are attacking workers.
That's not true. You said what?
What do you know about them attacking workers, Bryson? Sitting there with your Gucci shirt and your sneakers.
I'm sorry. Why do you keep bringing up my Gucci shirt and my Balenciaga shoes?
But what do you know about the railroad workers down here getting ready to strike?
So we're on his live on his. I think he's on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. I think are you on Twitch right now?
Yeah.
My girl asked me.
Tell her I said hey. I am sure she's a lovely woman.
He said hey. He's sure you are a lovely woman. He thinks I hate gay people. He thinks you do.
You were seething, man.
He thinks I hate all leftists because I find it disgusting. But
you just called me your enemy. How do you not hate all leftists? How if I'm your enemy? I want you to join with me.
You tell this guy I talk to leftists every single night.
You just called me your enemy, Bryson.
Sometimes we watch movies together, but listen, we can converse. But like in reality, you said my enemy. That's true. You agree with that though?
No, I want you.
Okay, that's the question.
I want you. I think the culture war is bullshit, and you need to get off of that nonsense, and you need to join with me to take the pitchforks to the rich people.
Justin FREAKIN. So it's Justin, like it's spelled regular Justin, and it's FREAKIN without the G. Like freaking, like
FREAKIN.
It's on YouTube, Twitch, and I think Facebook also.
D Live, Odyssey, whichever platform you're most comfortable with.
Okay, cool. But okay, let me explain to you why you agree.
I don't agree. I want you to stop with the culture war nonsense and join with me in the economic war.
I'm about to explain something.
The rich people are fucking us, Bryson.
Listen, you're gonna be angry when I tell you this, and I already know you are. Do you know what I think we should do with the LGBT community?
I don't want to know at all.
Okay, but that's cool. I don't want to say it might not be what you think it is though. But so I think it's of course.
Will it violate terms of service if you say it?
I don't know, Jamie. Because it's not the Leviticus 18. It's not the Leviticus 18 one. No, it's the Leviticus 18 when it's not the Leviticus 21. So yeah, but I'm not gonna say it's cool. But what I'm saying is that would, in my mind, like if I was a person of LGBT, I'd be like, okay, I could probably have a conversation with Bryson. But in reality, when it comes to the culture war, he is on the opposing side. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably are against capitalism. You probably support some form of socialism in some way.
Okay, hold on, Bryson. One, I get called a communist or a socialist by people that I'm far more capitalist than because I file my taxes as a small business owner.
Yeah, you're a small business owner. Me too. Okay, you got your LLC and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the way streamers, musicians, artists do it, right? Yeah.
So I don't know. Because I've been on Twitch for a while now, but I don't know exactly like how it works when you make the money from streaming. So with me, with my music, I basically have to create a business and I basically have to pay myself every month, so I don't have to worry about the taxes aspect to it.
I'm not that big yet.
Standpoint. Oh, I mean, same thing though. But hopefully you'll get there. You know.
However, if you were to drop, a couple hundred down there, I'd use it on advertising.
See, look, this is what I'm saying. You like if you told me you needed money for food, I needed $20 for food. I help people like that all the time. But see, if you want me to help you advertise your leftist
I brought you. Look
propaganda,
at you. Your fucking website's on my fucking screen right now, dude.
yes, and thank you for that. Thank you. But I'm saying, you want me to help advertise leftist propaganda?
It's not leftist. Well, one. First of all, I'm very educational. Like the other day, we learned that the first and only Supreme Court justice to be impeached was Samuel Chase. He was acquitted in the Senate, and his name was Old Bacon Face. That was his nickname. That's the kind of things. That's what we learn on this stream. Okay, so like educational stream, Bryson. There you go. See. So we're an educational stream, not so much leftist propaganda.
Okay. I mean, I feel it.
I don't want you to refer to me as your enemy. I don't understand.
In the culture where you are, though, we can still have a conversation. I don't hate you because of it. It's just unfortunately, it's an unfortunate reality.
Culture war is nonsense. It's what Republicans use to distract from economic issues.
No, Republicans are soft. They don't even care nothing about the culture war. All they care about is we need to stop socialism. That's all they care
Republicans?
about. Republicans?
What?
Yes, bro. See, I'm in the inner workings of Republicans, so I know they don't care about the culture war. That's why they prop up LGBT people that put on a MAGA hat. That's why do you think I didn't get to perform at any of the Trump rallies in 2020? Because the Trump campaign viewed me as homophobic. They said, we can't prop up homophobic influencers. And I said, well, I'm not changing what I say. And they said, well, we can't promote you anymore. I said, whatever. Deal's a deal. It's cool. And they haven't promoted me since, which is cool. So they're not... I even think most Republicans are my enemies in the culture war. So I don't want you to get it confused as if like I'm some like Republican propaganda, right-wing talking point machine. No, a lot of Republicans don't like me. They think I'm homophobic and transphobic and all that.
You are.
Well, that's true, but
at least, man, Bryson, like the one thing I can say is like, one, you've been knowledgeable about your subject matter, and two, you've been fucking honest.
Hey, that's all I could be. All people got their word, but
so I like you've earned my respect tonight.
But I only think I'm homophobic in the new way of viewing the word. I don't think I'm like, as far as the original word of phobia, I don't think I'm homophobic, but the updated version of the word, yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't know what you.
Well, phobia just means the original definition of phobia just meant fear. I don't fear gay people.
I think you have an irrational fear. I think.
Come on, bro. How do I fear gay people, bro?
Look up repression, dude. Look up repression. You show a lot of signs of it.
This is so typical. You know, it's funny. Me and my friends, we be laughing about
this. It's typical because multiple people have told you about this.
No, it's me and my friends. We all like are considered the homophobes, and we all show each other the DMs when we get, because it's so funny. People are like, you're secretly gay. It's the same wording. It's the same thing. It's like y'all use the same. Like y'all need some new creative things to say, because this we just laugh at
it.
Well,
do you know like how many times there's been like a homophobic preacher like a Ted Haggard, and then he gets caught doing meth and having gay sex?
Y'all always bring up
like it happens all the time.
No, it doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah,
that's not true at all. No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
no,
it does.
Most people that preach against homosexuality, it has nothing to do with them being gay or anything like that. Or like that. That's not a common thing that happens at all. That's not true.
I think it's far more common than you want to admit. And I
think
there's a reason for that.
No, I looked it up because everybody say it, and I was willing to say that it could be a common. If it was a common thing, I'd be like, it's a common thing. It's just not the case with me. I'm willing to say that, but unfortunately,
I'm gonna look it up and see how common it is, and
it's not that common.
I'm betting it's pretty goddamn common.
Listen, bro, I'm an honest Christian. If something is true, I'd be like, okay, boom. A lot of people that talk about gay people in a negative sense, very passionately, something like 50% of them are gay. If that was the case, unfortunately, it's not for you.
I think it's more than 50%. I think it's like fucking like 97%. Why are you focused on it? I don't understand.
You bringing it up. No, bro. I talk about all sins. The only reason people bring up the LGBT part of it, nobody say I'm secretly a fornicator. Nobody says I'm secretly an adulterer. Nobody says I'm secretly a already said fornicator.
Well, I don't care if you're like you adulting doesn't have any bearing on my life whatsoever. You attacking my friends does.
That's not the point. The point is I talk about all the stuff in my music. Nobody has said you're secretly these things. The only time people
I don't care. Okay, you can go boink whoever you want. I don't give a fuck. But you attacking my friends is a different story. You attacking me is a different story.
You only care about the LGBT aspect, which is why it's very irrational to say I think you're secretly gay. That's why it doesn't make sense. It's not logical. It doesn't add up. It makes zero sense. It's just an attack. It's an attack. Since you use it as an attack, I would call you homophobic in the same way. Right? You got to be homophobic because you're using
homophobic.
You have to be.
I suck dick.
Bro, oh my goodness. Why, bro? Why do you have to keep saying disgusting things? I'm trying to have a conversation.
Why is that disgusting to you, Bryson?
I don't, bro. Listen, I don't have a hot topic for the generation.
Do you think a woman giving fellatio is disgusting?
I don't want to hear women talk about giving fellatio all the time. That's disgusting. Also, I'm against fornication.
At least you're consistent.
Yeah, bro. Have you heard some of my songs? I'm against harlots.
I can't stand. Heard your song. I think that's controlling women, but anyway.
Oh, okay. So now I'm a women. Okay, so not only am I secretly gay to you, now I want to just control women. I'm just the worst thing on the planet, I guess.
I don't think you are, man. I think you're a really good guy down there, and I'm trying to get through to you.
I'm trying to get through to you. I think you should repent also.
What does that mean to repent, dude?
It means to confess and forsake your sins. Because I wonder why
what
you
sins?
Keep bro, you said at least 7 times, and I don't know if you're doing it to try to try to make me uncomfortable or something like that, but you keep talking about like how you do disgusting things, and you keep saying it.
Why would that make you uncomfortable? I don't get it.
I think it's a call out for help, which is why, like, bro, like I genuinely think if you like read the Bible, really got into true Christianity, not the crap people say, I think you would repent and you would confess and forsake your sins.
Okay, after this conversation, is it not obvious that I've actually read the Bible and that I studied Christianity in college? And I actually have many friends. I have a friend, a really close friend who is a pastor, and he is gay, and he has a doctorate.
Oh, he's definitely not a pastor. Period.
He has a doctorate in theology, dude.
I don't care. I don't care what he has.
And he would school your ass. You have if I'd known that you were this well versed, I probably would have brought him on.
Bro, listen. Listen. I'm a real Bible thumper. I read the Bible every single day of my life.
I found that out. That's why I would have brought the doctorate of theology on.
And I'm telling you something right now. People have.
And he was schooled your ass.
They get embarrassed because a lot of people act like they know scriptures and they don't. Because people try to look at scripture from a biased lens. I used to do the same thing when I first started reading the Bible.
He's got a doctorate in theology.
Bro, doctorates don't matter. Stupid people have doctorates, bro, that don't make them smart.
But it's in the subject matter that you're talking about.
Hey, bro, bro, you can say brother, bring him on. I'm gonna school him so quickly it's gonna make your head spin.
Yeah, I mean, like the chat is pointing out, I read the Bible and I hate poor people. That's pretty much your position.
Of course it is. I read the Bible. I hate poor people.
It seems like it, man.
Bro, I've said not one thing that implicates I hate poor people. Most of my family is poor. My daddy grew up poor. I grew up lower.
I think that's a deflection from the fact that I want to attack welfare. Blah, blah, blah. I want to police what people on welfare can spend their welfare money on.
So let's be clear. I hate poor people and I hate gay people, and I only love rich white Republicans. Is that what you're trying to imply here?
I didn't say what.
But I mean,
I didn't say Republican. I mean, you made a really good case for like why mainstream Republicans aren't like down with you. Like I'm okay with that. Like, you're trying to straw man me.
You like those Republicans?
No, I don't like any Republican. I think all right wingers are morons.
Oh man, people are so funny to me. Listen, I offend everybody. It's not just you. It's not.
Did you offend me? Have you offended me in any way, Bryson?
Yeah, I think I have, which is why you keep pulling out this you're secretly gay thing. I think you're only saying that as a response to being offended.
Maybe I'm shooting my shot and I kind of want to get with you.
Now I gotta go, bro. I really have to go. I'm leaving now because you that's disgusting. I'm actually leaving, bro. Listen, man.
Dude, hey, man. Bryson, at least you can't even take a fucking joke, man.
Bro, I told you in the beginning, I don't do that. I don't do that gay stuff, bro. That stuff is weird. Bro, that stuff is gay.
Why is that weird?
Because I can't make my joke back. Because if I make my joke back, it gets terms of service. So this is a one-sided joke.
Your joke is just wanting to be mean and throw a slur around, is what you're saying.
Oh, here we go. Hey, listen, it was nice chatting with you, G. I'll bring you on my YouTube once.
Yes, please bring me on. I would love to talk to your audience.
This is your YouTube and your rules, so I can't tell you to not say certain things because it's not my YouTube, which I have to respect because I'm in somebody else's YouTube. Say whatever you want, broski, but it is my right to leave.
All right, well, bring me on yours, and I promise I won't talk about sucking dick.
All right, great.
Peace out, man. Have a good one. It's a joke, not a dick. Don't take it so hard. Well, first of all, let me say hey to everybody. Porg, good evening. I'm conflicted about, doing these kinds of things. Dude knew a lot more about the subjects than I figured him to know about. I couldn't catch him up in hypocrisy. Other than, the idea of using Jesus to enrich himself and promote himself, or the idea that really not all that friendly to poor people. Mandy, he came to my stream 2 years ago and paid me $50 to watch one of his anti-LGBTQ music videos. It was when I was still incredibly small. I probably had 1 or 2 viewers at the time, and he brought like 3 or 4 people in with him. Man, he got upset when we called it a knockoff. Man, he talked about getting offended. The person who got the most offended was one, anytime I brought up anything having to do with a homosexual act, he squirmed hard. And 2, when Media Winch said that his shirt was a knockoff. Boy, did that one hurt his feelings. Media Winch sure does. Yeah, I wasted time with the Thomas Jefferson and shit at the beginning. That was fruitless. I shouldn't have gone down that hole. And I thought about this last night as I was prepping for this. Don't discuss personalities and what personalities believe. Keep it to facts and policy. That's where you win. Don't discuss personalities and what personalities believe. Keep it to facts and policy, because that's where you win. And I have to always watch myself on that. I don't want to talk about personalities. I don't want to talk about what Keffels is doing or what Walsh believes or yada, yada, yada. Or even what Thomas Jefferson believed. Mad23, I don't know if you snuck in, if you just became a freaking follower tonight, but I don't remember ever welcoming you to the fold, so thank you for being a freaking follower. I love your face. Let me say hey to everybody. Media Winch, oh, I love your face. You know this. Porg, good evening. I so love your face. Mandy, I want to give you smooches. Mwah. Sitting Cow, thank you so much for being here. Danny Lee, who knows what Matthew 10:33 says. I'll give it an amen, though. Thank you for being here. Tones, I love your ass. Not literally your ass, though maybe, I don't know. Maybe one of these days. Warlord, getting your own sticker on the Freak Store. Ida, good evening. Brand Torrance, thank you for being a freaking subscriber over on the YouTube. Gotta have your gotta have your brand flakes. Officer K72, that sounds like one of those off-brand synthetic marijuana fucking things. Don't smoke that shit. Lord LOC, I love your fucking face. Wade, you were amazing. Thank you for being here. I'm not going to scroll up any further, but if I miss somebody, I love you guys so much. Thank you for being here. The dude's read the fucking Bible, but I mean, he knew his shit. And even when I had, because like all my gotchas didn't work. My usual catch lazy ass, and like I was kind of worried about this last night, but I didn't put in the work. I was like, my usual shit'll work. My usual shit'll work. Ask him who wrote the book of Matthew. Motherfucker had an excellent answer for it. So I can't say that I demolished Bryson Gray. Bryson Gray held his own. He might not have looked like a very savory individual. He might not look like he was a good representation of Christianity, but you can't accuse him of not knowing what he was talking about, so fuck. Is that a fair assessment? I think I summed that up well. Ida, I know. But he could not handle male-on-male filet. But to be fair, as he pointed out, it also looked like he did not like me talking about a female. He did not appreciate straight fellatio either, so. I wasn't feeling good when this started, but man, like, just doing that shit kind of like. I got into the zone and can't even tell my stomach was nauseous when I started. That's what I assume. I'm going to do some research on repression. Porg, I didn't get the chance to throw that in, but you may honestly be correct. It may not be that he is a closeted gay person. You might be 100% correct. He might be a closeted asexual person. I was still correct about repression. I just might have got it wrong. And because of the reason why he's so focused on the LGBTQ community, and maybe the reason why I'm so focused on his focus on the LGBTQ community, is just because that's what the algorithms reward. That's what the bigots want to hear. So I may have completely misread him, and he might have been an ace. And that repression is a real thing, but I just misdiagnosed what he was repressed about. It was all sexuality he was repressed towards. That is a very real possibility. And the disdain towards the LGBTQ community could be twofold, because conditioned by societal pressures and the algorithm and people following him on social media amplifying that specific message. So sorry, Bryson, you might not actually be a closeted gay person or a closeted bi person or whatever. You might actually be dealing with repression issues having to do with other things. And there's nothing wrong with being asexual. I don't understand, like, why, like, if you're so repulsed by those people, why would you go and try to talk to them? Why do you feel it is your need? Look, Mandy, I totally, statistically, that's probably the more likely thing. And that was my first inclination. But, Porg makes an excellent point, and that is a very real possibility. There is repression going on. What is the root cause of it is another thing. But also, it is wrong for anyone to speculate on psychological issues when you're not a psychologist, and it's wrong for psychologists to speculate on psychological issues when it's not their patient. So it is doubly wrong for me to be up here trying to play armchair psychologist, and do not take what I am saying seriously. Just throwing that out there because I like to be factual. Coming up on the rest of the show, I do have a bit of an abbreviated show, but we still got news to talk about, including Matt Gaetz seeking a pardon for his sex crimes while Trump was still in office. We're going to hear from Michael Knowles and Ted Cruz, their thoughts on the migrant debacle at Martha's Vineyard over the weekend, and I'm going to give you the what really happened, some really enlightening videos about what actually happened on Martha's Vineyard, including an immigration lawyer really laying down the law and telling you exactly what Greg Abbott and Ron DeSantis did. Plus, I got video of Dennis Prager proving he hates kids. Gonna give you an update on the railroad strike. And as of just a few hours ago, the entire island of Puerto Rico is without power. I love that Matt Gaetz. I love that Matt Gaetz emote. Resonate. I had to remember what it was. I think I might have issues because, like, I can't tell when words are misspelled. I do a decent job of spelling them myself, but if you show me a word and it's misspelled, I'm just like, yeah, that's right. Venus! Resonate. I love both of your faces. I am so glad to have you guys here. You just missed me having about an hour and 15-minute discussion. Fritz, thank you for being a freaking follower. I love your face. You guys just missed out on about an hour and 15-minute discussion with MAGA, hardcore Christian conservative rapper Bryson Gray. Oh, okay, so maybe you saw a lot of it. I will sum it up by the man knew what he was talking about. I couldn't get him on any of my usual, lazy Christian shit. I give him props for that. But I don't think he was a good representation of his faith. I mean, I asked him who wrote the book of Matthew, and he was like, well, religious people believe it's Matthew, but scholars believe that we don't know who wrote the book, and which is correct. The fake guy in the sky, indeed. Non-smoker. Rob Noer. Am I going to debate Rob Noer? Am I supposed to debate Rob Noer? Is that something that's going on? Who's Rob Noer? What's up, non-smoker? I love your face. Thank you for being here. If somebody could shout out non-smoker, please, please. Oh, did you think that was who the Christian rapper was? No, it was Bryson Gray. The artist behind the song Let's Go Brandon. And his newest single, Bars for Christ.
That be my MO. I'm trying to show these people family matters, no car Winslow. Christ is king.
I mean, the dude is witty with his lyrics, and that beat is killer. Like, I gotta give him props on that. Jeremy Freaky, that's a goddamn. I kind of like Jeremy Freaky better than Justin Freakin. All right, guys, pack it up. I'm going to be Jeremy Freaky from now on. Jeremy Freaky, I like that. Oh, do I want to debate Rob Noer? Get Rob Noah in here. Get Rob Noah on the phone. I'll debate Rob Noah right now. Cicero, I don't know if I've said hey to you. I love your face. Thank you for being here. J Freak. I can't rap. I can't sing. I've got no musical talent whatsoever. I wanted to be the lead singer of a rock band so fucking bad. I used to like 4th, 5th grade, I had a shower curtain rod, and I had it inside a dumbbell. And it had because I had a karaoke machine, it had like the fucking karaoke machine holder for the microphone on top of the shower curtain rod, and I had like cut up towels draped from the microphone like I was goddamn Steven Tyler. Oh my god. Because I was a huge Aerosmith fan. And like, think about it. Like, this is 93, 94 time period. We're talking, they're coming off the Get a Grip album, fucking Crying's playing on the fucking MTV all the time. I was a huge Aerosmith fan. I was going back through the catalog, listening to the old school shit. I had the Red Greatest Hits album. I had the big ones. I was a huge Aerosmith fan. I wanted to be goddamn Steven Tyler. My voice changed and I couldn't carry a tune. And then I tried to play other instruments and I realized I ain't got no rhythm. So music isn't for me. And ladies and gentlemen, non-binary people, that's how I became a broadcaster. If you want to be a performer and be behind a microphone and you can't sing and you got no rhythm, but you can talk, that's a profession for you. I'm not high enough for this shit. Oh, poor. I watched the whole interview at a different time. Phineas and Ferb. I never watched Phineas and Ferb. I think I'm just a little bit older than that, the demographic for that show. Like the last like Nickelodeon kind of show I remember watching was like Rocko's Modern Life. I think Phineas and Ferb came like just a couple years later, and by that time I was like, what I watch? It was probably like VH1 and MTV and shit by that. But like, you know, by my teen years, it was all Moral Oral. I didn't actually get into Moral Oral until later on in life. A girlfriend introduced me to Moral Oral. I have all of them. Yes, Lord Locke, that is what actually drove him off, was I kept talking to him. I mean, I didn't keep bringing it up. It just got, like, you know, it fit in. And I'm like, oh, you're upset about me sucking dick or something. Went a good hour and 20 minutes. That's probably what it needed to go. I probably should have cut it off in an hour. But just know,
You live in sexual anarchy?
I live in sexual anarchy. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. I believe in freedom. That dude believed in theocracy, and unfortunately, there are too many like him that are sipping the Kool-Aid. This happened last night during the Trump speech that we watched. But I didn't hear that. Like, this was at the end when they started playing music under Trump. Right Side Broadcasting started having issues, and then we just kind of quit watching it at that point. So we missed this part, and this part is really weird. Oh, Kikyo, that was a meme from I think it's called Soup Posting, Seinfeld Soup Posting. And you know what else they're up to? They're adding chemicals to the pretzels to turn us all thirsty. These pretzels are making me thirsty. I love Seinfeld memes. Oh my God, Porg. The teaching I made that into a short for YouTube. You guys have noticed I've been putting up a lot more shorts on YouTube and putting shit up on the TikTok. The teaching transgender was weird the way he put that. What was I watching last night?
We don't want them teaching transgender to our children without...
What does that mean? How do you teach transgender to a child?
Republican
The And somebody commented on that video, and I was like, maybe Trump should focus on grammar. And she was like, what does grammar have to do with education? Or some shit. It was really wild. It was really wild. But I missed this part. This happened at the ass end, and boy, all they're missing is passing around the Kool-Aid.
We are a nation that allowed Russia to devastate a country, Ukraine, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your commander-in-chief, and for 4 long years, it didn't happen. And China, with Taiwan, is next. We are a nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never, ever before.
This was the dude that was like snatching people off the fucking streets during BLM in unmarked vans.
Election-changing facts to be presented to the public, where Hunter Biden's laptop was Russian disinformation when they knew it wasn't, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and fraud. And we have a president who is cognitively impaired.
I mean, that's what it, look at this shit.
Which may end up in World War III. We're a nation that no longer has a free press and has no fair press any longer. Fake news is all you get, and they are truly the enemy of the people. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed.
I mean, this is just absolute bullshit.
Where the economy has...
This dude, under investigation for possession of classified documents, and any other person on the face of the earth would have been put under a prison already. If you don't believe me, look at what happened to Reality Winner. He is under investigation for his handling of classified documents, giving a speech on the internet to millions of people talking about how there's no free speech anymore. It's insane.
Been collapsing, where more people died of COVID in 2021 than in 20.
I got you. I'll get you the link.
We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And just 2 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia.
It's still going.
All of the rest in check.
Okay, Porg, so like, does he know he's lying? Is once again getting into the armchair psychologist kind of shit. Is he pathological? If so, then he doesn't know he's lying. He thinks he's telling the truth. I could believe he believes his bullshit. Absolutely. So does he know he's lying is a weird question. 13 fuck Nazis 12. I love your face. Thank you for being here. You would, Lord Locke, kinda, yeah, maybe he knows he's lying and he's doing it on purpose and this is a thing. Cause like we do know that he used to pretend to be different people and then call and, you know, tell fucking newspaper shit like Donald Trump did this, blah, 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 blah. Well, Barron was a Baron something or other. It was one of his fucking surnames that he used to call people. Even if you think, even if you don't think you're lying, it doesn't make the lies true. Yeah, but like, the question was, does he know he's lying? And then like, that begs the question: is he pathological or not? That's a whole nother can of worms. John Barron, that's what he called himself. John fucking Barron. So here's the problem with climate change is when the right wing starts actually fucking accepting it, we're gonna get eco-fascism, and it's gonna fucking suck. That's the problem, is because like it's gonna be so undeniable the right wing's gonna accept it eventually, and then they're going to use it for nefarious means. Ooh, yeah. Oof. I'm just me? Fucking A. I don't want you to be anything else but you. And I love your face just for being you. And thank you for being a freaking follower. Speaking of Trump Kool-Aid, do you wanna keep going with people that are drinking it and are orbiting Trump? Let's go with Mike Lindell at his little event he had, where apparently he spoke for an hour and 26 minutes. Straight outside the Trump rally in Ohio.
On January 4th of 2021. And I was down there at that big rally for the 2 senator runoffs, right? And I said, all of a sudden I started praying. I go, God, please let them take both of these senators. And you're going, okay, Mike, you did it. No, okay. The reason I say that, I'm a marketer, and I'm going, if I was working for that evil, I would say, give them back one of these senators so they shut up about the election. Okay? Had they done that, maybe not you guys, but most of the people in this country would have said, Mike, or you guys, we still have the Senate, we'll get them back in 2022. Okay? Well, I got news for you. There wouldn't have been a 2022. It would have been over if they would have been smart and just give one back. But instead, you all know exactly where you were when they stole them both. Right. And everyone's going, oh, now what are we going to do? Maybe there was election crime. You know, people that were on the fringe are all going, 100 million people in this country went, now what? Yes, we should have listened to all this crime that was coming out, just pouring out, right?
Hey guys, get into as many Georgia politics groups as you can and pretend you're a right-winger and just sow doubt about the election so nobody goes out and votes. Just go in there and talk about Mike Lindell's like, yeah, he's right. They stole both the senators. Yeah, like, you've no reason to vote. The elections are rigged. If you want to have an effect on the upcoming Georgia governor's race and Senate race, which are so very important, go into Georgia political groups and spread mistrust about the elections, specifically in Georgia. Talk about how Brad Raffensperger is a rhino and how Brian Kemp is a rhino. Speaking of elections in Georgia, you want to talk about Marjorie Taylor Greene? Lord Locke, thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I love your face so much. This is an activist, and she is in front of Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene.
What about step out of the way, please? You're blocking a member of Congress. Excuse me, ma'am.
She just kicked her.
Blocking a member of Congress. Step out of the way, please. You're blocking a member of Congress.
She said, "Excuse me," and kicked her.
Congress. What about step out of the way, please? You're blocking a member of Congress. Excuse me, ma'am. You're.
Let's see, do we have... Oh, here is this Breitbart's take on it. Pop this out here. We want to see this.
Child abuse. It's child abuse. You're abusing children. You support the criminal mutilation of children.
You're pursuing.
Shame on you. You're
No,
child
you're
abuse.
approaching
members
You're
of Congress
child
like
you're
you're doing it
filming.
right away.
You're getting
I'm not.
kids
I'm
shot in
protecting
school.
children.
You're helping kids get shot in school.
No, I'm not.
Record me. I don't give a fuck.
No, you know what? You're a coward is what you
How
are.
am I a
You know what?
coward? You're the one
Second
running
Amendment
away.
is aggressive.
You're the one running
Do they think this makes MGT look or MTG look better?
away.
Gun rights protect people. That stops people from.
Oh yeah,
killing
what does
kids in
gun
school.
rights do for all the kids who
You
keep
know,
getting shots in
you're
school?
Such a coward. You're
How
such
am I a coward?
Because
Representative
you're
Green,
scared of
please.
guns.
Am I scared of guns?
You're scared of legal gun owners that want to protect their kids in school. Shame on you.
How? Shame
you know
on
what?
me?
Yeah, go move to another country where they take away your guns. That's a good place.
I want to
for
live
you
in a
go.
country where kids
No,
don't
you're
get
not
shot.
even a great
I want to
American.
live in a country where kids don't get shot. I don't think you
Good,
would like that.
Good. You know what? You
So
should
you
go
like?
to another
I'm sorry.
country.
I'm sorry.
That way you can give
So
up
do
your
you like?
Second
So do
Amendment
you?
rights,
So do you
but I'll
like?
Defend. I
So
will
do
defend
you like living in a
everyone's Second
country where
Amendment
kids
rights.
keep getting shot
No,
in school
no,
and
you
dying?
hate-
We need
you hate
access
kids.
to
Merkin!
You're not voting
Yeah.
for gun protection.
Merkin! Drove all day! I'm not gonna try to do Celine Dion or Roy Orbison.
Aren't you the tourist guy?
You are not voting for gun prevention, gun violence prevention.
Tourist, right?
No, yes, you want to know how I'm voting?
Yeah, that was you. That was you. I recognize your face. So
How does the Second Amendment prevent gun violence? The Second Amendment. How does the Second
You're the
Amendment
one.
prevent gun
You're
violence?
the one that believes.
How
that
does-
What about step out of the way, please? You're blocking a member of Congress.
So there was the kick.
Blocking a member of Congress. You need to.
She was just walking on the sidewalk.
You literally cannot do that. That's against.
The full video does not make MTG look any better, so I don't know what Breitbart was trying to do there. We should probably note that we found this video on Breitbart. So there you have it. This was a few days ago. Posted on September 17th, but I think it might have happened the day before. This might have been on Friday. Let's talk about one of Marjorie Taylor Greene's friends, one congressman by the name of Matt Gaetz. Representative Matt Gaetz asked for pardon in sex trafficking probe, according to a Trump aide. Testimony from former White House staffer given to the January 6 investigators offers yet another voice alleging that Representative Matt Gaetz asked for a pardon from a sex trafficking probe in which he's a principal target. The Washington Post reports that Johnny McEntee, a personal aide to Trump and former director of the White House Presidential Personnel Office, told investigators that Gaetz had asked the White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows for a pardon and said if the president could give him a pardon, that would be great. The paper said it was unclear if the request was made before or after the Capitol riot. Other staffers and Trump associates have also claimed that Gaetz requested a pardon for the Justice Department sex trafficking probe, including Eric Hirschman, a former senior advisor to Trump, who told a House panel investigating January 6th that Gaetz had requested a pardon from the beginning of time up until today for any and all things. Gaetz is accused of having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old about 3 years ago and paying for her to travel around the country. All the best people. On the other side of the break, we're going to talk about the Alabama GOP chairman who says that being required to show photo ID to vote disenfranchised his family. The Alabama GOP chairman says being required to show a photo ID disenfranchised his family. I'm not joking. That's not. No, I meant to say GOP. Yes. The chairman of the Alabama State Republican Party. You heard me correctly. Plus, I'm going to give you the lowdown on what actually happened with the migrants on Martha's Vineyard. You're going to hear from an immigration lawyer who is going to tell you exactly how Ron DeSantis and Greg Abbott fucked those poor migrants. Figuratively, not literally. Don't fuck migrants. That would be bad. Plus, I have a clip that shows you how much disdain Dennis Prager has for kids. All that and more on the other side of the break here on the Troll Patrol. Live. This is WWE superstar and multiple-time champion Seth Rollins. Seth is one of the top wrestlers in the industry, and never in a million years would I expect that Seth would be spying on me, or at least following me on social media. You see, a few years ago, around 2015 or 2016, Seth started referring to himself as
Seth freaking Rollins.
Now, Justin, you may say, your name is Justin Freakin. That's not very similar. And you'd be right. But I actually rebranded myself as Justin Freakin after Rollins blatantly stole my gimmick. Before last year, I went by
Justin Freakin Mullins. Justin Freakin Mullins.
Justin Freakin Mullins.
I am on film and audio, calling myself Justin Freakin Mullins several years before Seth Rollins. And if we take a trip in the Wayback Machine, we can see that I've actually been using the appellative since I was in high school. If this was Seth's only offense, I might let it slide. But recently he started referring to himself as
the Monday Night Messiah.
I wonder where I have heard something like that before.
I am the new media messiah.
I am the new media messiah.
Self-proclaimed new media messiah.
The new media messiah.
So, Seth, since you and the WWE are clearly paying attention to me, consider this video your cease and desist to stop infringing on my intellectual property, and issue me a check for a cut of that sweet merchandise money. Obviously, you and the WWE are big fans of my ideas, so maybe you should offer me a slot on the creative team. Anyone who has watched Raw in the past decade knows you could use the help. And if you're watching this video and you're not Seth Rollins, check out the links below to learn how you can contribute to my legal fund.
Now we turn to YouTuber Justin Freakin. The guy's, he's a formidable voice in the culture. Uncensored and unfiltered political talk and debate from a leftist perspective. The day's top news stories and videos with astute social commentary.
Not high enough for this shit.
All we're establishing is this guy's wicked sick aesthetic.
Right-wingers are morons.
You brought back the wrong kind of fucking cake, you idiot.
I guess I gotta thank Matt Walsh for introducing me to Justin Freakin.
Yet you're like, we'll pray for somebody. You think you can telepathically communicate with a deity, and you have the audacity to say somebody else has a mental disorder. For the love of God.
We live in turbulent times. The media is full of deception, conspiracy theories, and fake news. Now, more than ever, it is important to ensure you're getting information from a source that's freaking reliable. I'm Justin Mullins, and this is the Freakin' News. Get a breaking or interesting story with a humorous twist in about a minute weekdays, 8 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and more.
Welcome back. Here is your new meme of the day. The SpongeBob Old Reliable. There's a crisis at the border. That's what the Republicans always resort to whenever they are losing the culture war, the political war. Democrats' fortunes in the midterm elections looking up. going into November, so of course the right wing pulls out Old Reliable. Yeah, Cicero, we were talking about the George Clooney documentary on Jim Jordan last night when Trump brought up Jim Jordan during the speech. Do you have a release date on that? Oh, Venus, we're gonna get into that. I think I put the story about how much money it cost. Maybe not. That might have been Charlie Chris that shared that out. I might not have put that on the list. October, hell yeah. I'm not high enough for this shit. I'm not high enough for what we got next, which is Ted Cruz going on with Michael Knowles to talk about the immigrant stunt pulled last week by the right wing, where they sent 50. I might have said at one point in time that it was 500. I got the number wrong. It was 50 immigrants that they sent to Martha's Vineyard. Oh, I'm sorry, Michael. I had you muted there. Oh, I'm muted over here. That's
Airplanes full of illegal aliens to Martha's Vineyard. And I cheered when I saw the headline. And then I had to think, there's a certain podcast hosted by a certain senator from Texas that has been calling exactly for that for many weeks.
Look at the glee!
And, I just can't
look at the glee on his face.
Help but wonder if that may have had some effect on this policy going into effect.
I was thrilled when the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, took me up on the idea and began sending illegal immigrants first to D.C., then to New York, then to Chicago. It's had a fantastic event as these Democratic mayors have lost their minds and
fantastic event. They lost their minds.
Declared national emergencies. The mayor of D.C. declared a national emergency or a city emergency because 6,000 illegal immigrants were sent to D.C. Of course, we've had, since Joe Biden became president, we have had 4.2 million illegal immigrants cross illegally with Biden as president. It is horrific.
That's a crazy number. 4.2 million. That is a crazy number.
It is larger than many of the states of our union. I mean, 4.2 million since Joe Biden put his hand on the Bible and took the oath of office. That's what's coming. It continues to get worse. And what is amazing about when red state governors, first Texas, now Florida, are shipping to blue strongholds, is the Democrats who talk a good game immediately flip tail. And so I want to give you a quote from Martha's Vineyard. When I introduced the legislation,
Wes!
had Democrats.
Wes, is that you messaging me on Discord? I thought it was some kind of fucking spam. I'll get up with you if that's you.
Commissioner of Martha's Vineyard, Keith Chattanoover, and here's the quote he said about my legislation. I would love to see Martha's Vineyard become a haven for new immigrants in the country. But Senator Cruz has no idea what he's talking about regarding a border crisis. He went on to say immigrants make our country stronger, as evidenced by immigration from Brazil and other countries to the Vineyard, and he is trying to whip up racial anxieties for political gain, which is essentially the entire GOP platform anyhow.
Yep.
Before they arrived. I want to see if after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 100 plane loads or bus loads, if the county commissioner has the same view.
Let's see how the migrants were actually treated when they arrived at Martha's Vineyard. Would you guys like to see that? First of all, let's hear what they had to say when they got there. I got a few different clips to play for you. And remember that glee on Ted Cruz's face when we get to the immigration lawyer.
We didn't know we were coming here. We were not aware. I dream about building a better future for my family. I wanted to live in Washington, but it didn't work out the way I wanted, and God put me here for a reason. We're going to fly to Boston.
They were told they were going to Boston.
So we have some Venezuelan refugees who have, they arrived on Martha's Vineyard. No one knew they were coming. And so there has been a massive community effort to provide them with housing and care and any legal advice that we can give them.
So that different narrative than all the right wingers had. I thought they said the liberals were repulsed when they got the migrants. Let me show you a meme. And just like that, sanctuary cities don't want to be sanctuary cities no more. But that's not how it happened. Here is a restaurant providing authentic Venezuelan food.
The food. So we have here black bean. We have black beans too. We have rice, plantains. It's our typical food. The food.
Typical Venezuelan food to make them feel at home. Here are other volunteers coming with carloads full of food. Now, the right wing has said that they were already deported to Cape Cod Air Force Base, but the only reason that they sent them to Cape Cod is because there's empty barracks there. There's housing for them. There is infrastructure to house people. That's why they sent them to Cape Cod. And here are the residents seeing them off and hugging them.
Please,
I mean, you don't get more welcoming. And by the way, this is the way Jesus would act. This is the way Jesus told people to treat foreigners in your country.
Gracias por todo.
You might be president. New York. Yeah, I love it. I know.
Venezuelans slammed DeSantis after migrants flown to Martha's Vineyard. Members of the Venezuelan community and local advocates on Thursday criticized Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who sent 2 charter planes with undocumented immigrants to Martha's Vineyard, a traditional summer destination for celebrities and public figures. By the way, like, the fucking celebrities and shit aren't there. That's their summer home. William Diaz, a community leader in Central Florida and founder of the Casa de Venezuela network in the U.S., said DeSantis doesn't care about immigrants and he's only paying attention to the midterm elections in November. Casa de Venezuela promotes democracy and freedom and helps Venezuelan refugees. Our governor definitely wants to get some kind of political advantage for the midterm elections. The legislature approved millions to assist immigrants who have suffered the consequences of COVID, but not to pay for planes carrying migrants from Texas to Massachusetts just to be nice to the governor of Texas and Arizona. DeSantis had been talking about busing undocumented immigrants to President Biden's home state of Delaware for nearly a year, and his administration had set aside $12 million for the effort. The Republican governor's office said the flights were part of the state's relocation program, even though the trip started in Texas, not Florida. Most of the 50 migrants who were flown to Martha's Vineyard came from Venezuela, according to the Herald, and attorneys speaking for them say they were lied to and promised jobs and housing. Yeah, let's hear for the immigration attorney in Martha's Vineyard who decided to help out these poor migrants who were indeed lied to. I told you, remember the glee that was on the faces of Michael Knowles and Senator Ted Cruz when talking about this political stunt.
I make it clear that they were lied to again and again and fraudulently induced to board.
I'm sorry?
arrived last night make it clear that they were lied to again and again and fraudulently induced to board.
Well, we are having an issue with the video at the moment.
Last night make it clear that they were lied to again and again and fraudulently induced to board the planes. They were told there was a surprise present for them and that there would be jobs and housing awaiting for them when they arrived. This was obviously a sadistic lie. Not only did those responsible for this stunt know that there was no housing and no employment awaiting the migrants, they also very intentionally chose not to call ahead to any single office authority on Martha's Vineyard so that even the most basic human needs arrangements could be made. Ensuring that no help awaited the migrants at all was the entire point. They were provided with a cartoonishly simple map of Martha's Vineyard and the United States and a brief brochure containing snippets from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts website and instructions to change their address with USCIS when they relocated. This is especially troubling as anyone with even the most basic understanding of the immigration proceedings knows that USCIS was not the agency with whom the migrants would have to record their addresses and has nothing to do with their cases in any way. It is clear that this was an intentional attempt to ensure that these migrants were removed in absentia when they failed to change their address with the proper agency. This was a purposeful derailment designed to prevent people from complying with federal immigration policies. This is problematic because the state should not be interfering with federal immigration policy. Before they boarded the planes, the migrants were processed by agents of the Department of Homeland Security, who listed falsified addresses on the migrants' paperwork. Agents apparently chose random homeless shelters all across the country, from Washington to Florida, to list the migrants' mailing addresses, even when told by the migrants that they had no address in the U.S. According to the paperwork provided to them, the migrants are required to check in with ICE office nearest to the fake address chosen for them by DHS or be permanently removed from the United States, with some required to check in as early as this coming Monday. It could not be clearer that this is an attempt to ensure that these people are ordered removed, even as they try as hard as they can to comply with the instructions provided to them. There is no other reason to list as someone's mailing address a homeless shelter in Tacoma, Washington, when they ship him to Massachusetts. It is sickeningly cruel, throwing obstacles in the way of people fleeing violence and oppression, some of whom walked through 10 countries in the hopes of finding safety. It is shameful and inhuman. Many of these victims were deprived of medical care despite clear existing injuries. These are human beings who were deprived of basic human rights. To the people who find themselves, these wonderful people who find themselves plane wrecked on our island, I have a message for all of them. You are not alone. We have your backs. We are proud to be here for you. And we've got you. If the intention of those who perpetrated this horrendous act was to create a crisis, you have failed. Their demeanor is kind, their demeanor is grateful, and their demeanor is just that they want to be doing everything right. Their biggest concern today is that many of them have dates to appear in San Antonio Monday morning, Tacoma, Washington Monday morning, Washington, D.C. Monday morning. You tell me how that's possible.
We will be exploring all civil and criminal legal options to hold the perpetrators accountable and to prevent this injustice from repeating itself.
Thank you to these two awesome women. And I posted this on every right-wing propaganda site I could after I saw this video. Because fuck you, Michael Knowles. Fuck you, Ted Cruz. Fuck you, Greg Abbott. Fuck you, Ron DeSantis. Fuck you, everyone cheering on this nonsense. Let's see what Ron DeSantis has to say for himself. He has a hard time answering questions, apparently. Oh shit, this is the... This is not the correct clip I wanted to play. God damn it, I was going to clip this for YouTube. I'm gonna have to end the clip before this. Oh shit. My apologies. Usually my show's really well laid out. But sometimes if I have multiple Ron DeSantis clips in the hopper, maybe they get confused. Doo doo doo. I've got this pastor that attacked a woman in the middle of a sermon. I didn't put it on there. We might watch that tomorrow. I really want to do a story. I really want to do the story about the coach that took the case all the way to the Supreme Court to get his job back. Holy shit, has there been there's been developments in that one. But also I want to do like a little video essay on it for YouTube, and I want to do the story the same night on Troll Patrol. So I can plug it and be like, watch the video essay I did on this. And hopefully that's coming in the next day or so. That's a really weird clip of Jackson Hinkle. Of him dancing to YMCA as Trump coming out. Also, we're going to do the story of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department tomorrow. I wanted to get to it tonight, but I just don't feel like I have enough time to devote to it. Because it's a wild one. The county fired the sheriff's department's lawyers. And now they're wanting a lawyer to come and represent the sheriff's department pro bono after they raided the people investigating them. Fucking wild story. Ron won't answer questions, so we looked ourselves. Florida. This is Charlie Crist. This is the Democratic candidate for governor in Florida going up against Ron DeSantis. Florida paid Vertol Systems $615,000 on September 8th out of $12 million deportation fund. So Floridians paid $12,300 for each refugee DeSantis trafficked for his own political purposes. And there's the receipt. He literally brought the receipts. But also, man, you look like some dude that should be in a retirement center in Florida. Not somebody that we should be voting for governor. I don't live in Florida. I ain't voting for you. I'm sorry. Man, I may not be able to come up with this DeSantis press conference clip. Where is it at? It might have been the same press conference where I had the clip from. Well, damn it. I'm sorry. I got no Ron DeSantis clip for you, other than the one that I actually had. Play that one and pretend it's the reporter asking him a question and him stumbling all over it.
So the governor of California sent a letter to the Department of Justice saying you need to prosecute Texas and Florida governors. And all I can say is I think his hair gel is interfering with his brain function.
That's not even that good of a line. Like, if it was funny, I would give you props, sir. I will give right-wingers props when they're funny. It just happens so rarely. Alright, I'm sorry I couldn't provide you with that Ron DeSantis clip. but this one's gonna be satisfying in a way, I guess. It's gonna expose hypocrisy as if that matters. Let me continue. I'm not gonna disable it, motherfuckers. Why you so mean to me? The Alabama Republican Party chair refused to show his license to vote. That became a problem for the poll workers. Clyde Martin is a retired TVA supervisor at the Browns Ferry nuclear plant who now rides motorcycles and does a little yoga. He has a wife and a kid, but that only comes up when I ask him later. Rather, the first thing he tells me about himself is that he's a Republican. He considers himself a fierce fiscal conservative, which he cares about more than his party's position on social issues. He also cares a lot about election integrity, which is why, for the last 4 election cycles, he has volunteered as a poll worker outside Athens in Limestone County. It was there he would butt heads with one of the most influential Republicans in Alabama, John Wall, a 36-year-old butterfly farmer chosen last year to be the chairman of the state party. Their conflict was over a bread and butter issue of Republican Party politics, voter ID. Martin insisted Wall and his extended family show photo IDs like everybody else when they voted. And as a result, Martin isn't a poll worker anymore. Boy, does this sound like cancel culture to me. Most of the facts of this story are not in dispute. Martin and Wall give similar accounts, as do others. The differences turn on motivation. To figure out what happened, I've requested documents over the last 2 months from the Alabama Secretary of State, the Alabama Department of Finance, the Limestone County Probate Court, and the Limestone County License Commissioner, including emails and text messages among public officials. Those records make 2 things clear. Martin lost his job as a poll worker because he pushed back on John Wall, insisting Wall and his extended family use photo ID to vote, as all Alabamians are now expected to do. And some members of the state Republican Party chairman's family have been disenfranchised because of a lack of photo ID. Limestone County, along the Tennessee line just west of Huntsville, stands out in Alabama politics for being one of the last to transition from a Democratic stronghold to a Republican one. Several latecomers to the new Republican majority there have been treated with partisan skepticism or kicked off ballots for not being Republican enough. And when that has happened, many there have blamed the Walls, going on social media to accuse them of bullying people out of the Republican Party. Among the, we get to learn a word again. Internecine, destructive to both sides in a conflict. Internecine. Among the internecine factions of small-town politics, the Wall family has played an outsized role. Before he was the state party chairman, John Wall served on the, and I look up words I don't know, but if you guys don't know a word, please have me look it up. We should all be very willing to learn. Among the internecine factions of small-town politics, the Wall family has played an outsized role. Before he was the state party chairman, John Wall served on the county committee. His brother is the chairman now, and his mother serves on the county executive committee. They also serve on the state party executive committee, too. Despite their political activism, John Wall characterizes his family as intensely private, and he believes some of the animosity towards them is over their religious beliefs, which he says are based on Anabaptism, a branch of the Christian family tree shared with Mennonites and the Amish. Members of this community have been subjected to ridicule and called names like the goat people just because they live a different lifestyle. I, however, do not call them names, and I will visit their bakeries because they make really good baked goods. I love Mennonite people. I would never call them goat people. That's horrendous. Wall says, referring to a Facebook comment he shared with the newspaper, the Walls live together on land in West Limestone where, as his day job, Jonas farmed butterflies since he was a kid. There, the Wall family also has a business, Wiseman Trading and Supply, which has a website and a business license, although I could not find the typical incorporation records most businesses file with the Secretary of State. That seems like an issue. Through the years, Wiseman Trading and Supply has been something of a Swiss Army knife for the Wall family's business activities. Sometimes it's a butterfly farm. More recently, it built a solar farm selling up to 1 megawatt of electricity, enough to power between 100 and 200 homes, to Athens utilities. It also runs an online store that caters to customers living to various degrees off the grid and sells everything from camping equipment to handbooks for emergency childbirth. And according to campaign finance records, Wiseman Trading and Supply often acts as a political consulting firm, too. Oh, this is sounding so shady. And then to hide behind the fact that you're a Mennonite, to say like, oh, I get ridiculed because I'm a Mennonite, even though I'm over here doing all kinds of shady shit. Okay, that doesn't sit well with me. Those records, I don't care that somebody's called you goat people. That's wrong. You're not goat people. However, you do raise goats, I do believe, and that's where you get I love goat cheese. God damn. Those records show that in recent years, more than $400,000 of political money has flowed to the business, mostly for advertising buys, polling, and political consulting. In some campaign reports, the Wall family's address appears as the address in Limestone County Republican Party itself. Wow. And it employs at least one candidate for state office. Benjamin Harrison, a former county commissioner and current Republican nominee for Alabama House District 2, works for the company, according to Harrison's disclosures with the Alabama Ethics Commission. Harrison has also served as a member of the Limestone County Republican Party's steering committee. The influence over county party politics has made the Walls a target of online vitriol, especially during party contests. When Harrison last ran for Limestone County Commission, the state Republican Party removed his opponent, LaDon Townsend, from the ticket. Some of Townsend's supporters took to Facebook to attack the Wall family for playing favorites and accused John Wall of orchestrating Townsend's disqualification. Wall says he and his family recused themselves from those decisions. After being kicked off the ballot, Townsend ran as an independent and won. This issue goes back to political disagreements that seem to have turned into a full-blown vendetta, Wall said. But to whatever extent the Wall family has sway over local politics, John Wall now holds a position with far more power. State party chairs drive messaging for the party and make staffing decisions. They make appointments to party committees and direct party political spending. More than anyone else, the chairman acts as the voice of the state party, and by law, party chairs certify the primary election results. Either directly or indirectly, party chairs have power to pick winners and losers. Alabama GOP Chairman John Wall says some members of his family has religious objections to being photographed an obstacle to voting in Alabama. Wall has used atypical voting ID when voting in recent elections. I'm fine with that. I don't think, on this issue, I'm on his side. I think you should just be able to go and show your voter registration. When I was in Kentucky, you didn't even have to do that. You went and told them your name and your address, and I think that's it. You just had to tell them your name and your address, and they found you in the rolls. And then they would turn the book around and then you would sign. That's all it was. You visit John Wall's Facebook page, you'll see his picture. His job as party chairman frequently puts him in front of the camera. And the last time he voted, he posted a selfie on Twitter showing off his I voted sticker. But not everyone in his family feels comfortable being photographed. For them, it's a religious objection, and it's one that can lead to conflicts at the polls. Amish, Mennonites, and other Anabaptists are well known for their concerns about pictures or the way pictures are used. They are definitely not normal in our modern culture, but they shouldn't be attacked or discriminated against for choosing a different lifestyle. Martin says he became aware that Wall family members didn't show the typical driver's license when he first became a poll worker. Under Alabama law, a person can vote without photo ID only if 2 poll workers swear an affidavit saying they recognize the voter and know they are registered to vote. The Walls, Martin said, would ask the poll workers to let them vote through this exception, something Martin says made him uncomfortable. Subsequent communications Martin had with the Alabama Secretary of State's office seemed to back this up. I am familiar with this situation because it seems to come up every election. The Secretary of State's General Counsel, Hugh Evans, wrote in an email to Martin earlier this year. According to state voter records, 8 of the Wall family members living on their farm are registered to vote. Martin says he knows some of the Walls, but not all of them, and he wasn't comfortable swearing an affidavit that he could positively identify them as all as registered voters as required under the law before signing an affidavit. As the pandemic struck, the poll inspector at Martin's polling place did not volunteer to work the next election, and Martin was promoted to replace her during the 2020 elections. When the Walls came to vote, Martin insisted they show some sort of photo ID. John Wall complied, but not with the typical driver's license. Martin said he thought this was odd since Wall had driven to the polling place. Instead, John Wall produced a badge from the Alabama State Auditor's Office designating him a regional press secretary. Wall says he didn't have his driver's license because he left his wallet behind, but had the badge in his laptop bag, so he used it instead. The badge wasn't like anything Martin had seen before, but state law does permit state employee IDs and some other state-issued IDs as valid forms of voter identification, so Martin allowed John Wall to vote. A public records request to the Limestone County Probate Court returned a photograph of the badge Wall had texted to the probate judge during one of the disputes with poll workers. The badge has Wall's photograph and name, and it features a copy of the state seal. I asked Alabama State Auditor Jim Ziegler, oh my God, guys, we don't have time to get into it, but he is a hell of a character. Whether he had issued Wall such a badge, Ziegler says he vaguely recalled doing so. Oh, Ziegler said his office doesn't make the IDs itself. That's done by the Department of Finance. And he promised to reach out to them to check, but already had, though it's general counsel and pursuant to my records request. The finance department showed me a list of state auditor employees that had given badges, both active and inactive, and Wall's name was not among them. When I asked specifically whether the finance department had issued an employee ID for Wall, the department said it searched its electronic records and found no ID ever issued to Wall, nor any request form for such an ID from Ziegler's office. Finance records also show no evidence Wall has been paid by the state as an employee or a contractor. Martin reluctantly accepted the badge in November of 2020 as a valid form of voter identification, but the incident still bothered him. Later, he complained to the state party, and ahead of this year's political primaries, he sent an email to Wall asking Wall and his family to vote next time like everyone else. Martin told Wall he wouldn't be pressured into filling out any affidavits. Martin also sent an email to Secretary of State John Merrill asking him for clarity regarding the law. In particular, Martin wanted to know what the standard positively identify meant when voters asked poll workers to fill out affidavits. In his conversations with me, Martin says he knows some of the Walls, but not all of them, and he doesn't know whether they are all registered voters. Earlier this year, the Limestone County Probate Office sent Martin a form asking him again to be a poll worker. But not long after Martin's email to Wall and Merrill, he got a call asking him to appear before the county's 3-person appointment committee. He suspected Wall had complained. Records released by the Limestone County Probate Court pursuant to my records request show he was right. Writing as a concerned citizen and as a chairman of the Alabama Republican Party, Wall told the local appointment committee in an April 28th email that it shouldn't reappoint Martin to work the next election. Covenant Gardens, welcome. Thank you for being a freaking follower. I don't know why you wanted to come here. We're kind of boring and we're reading about this a poll worker that got fired by a Republican election official because the Republican election official said voter ID laws disenfranchised his family because Republicans are hypocrites. Though I don't know that this particular Republican ever advocated for voter ID laws, so I can't actually hold that one against him. Hildebeest, good evening. Oh, Covenant Gardens, I give you mad props because you had me in the first half, not gonna lie. I thought you were a chud, but my God, did you land the punchline. DeSantis is painted as a bad guy when in reality, he flew migrant women and children out of Florida to protect them from Matt Gaetz. Excellent. We might just have to pack it up right there. I can't do anything better than that. No, I've got a few more stories to share with you guys. We got to see Dennis Prager get upset because children got some positive affirmation in their lives. Positive reinforcement. Dennis Prager complains about a school sign reading "The world is a better place with you in it." These people are disgusting.
Where is my favorite sign? Yeah, no, that's not it. Damn, I threw it away. That school sign that I saw, schoolroom sign that I saw in the New York.
Somebody shout Hildebeest out.
The world is better because you are in it. I don't know what grade it was.
Before we get started, first of all, aren't these the pro-life people? Dennis Prager is pro-life, correct? Like, abortion is an issue Prager probably talks about a lot. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But I do believe that he is a pro-lifer. I would just assume being on that side. So, given that fact, wouldn't just the fact that they weren't aborted in the mass genocide they're always bitching about, wouldn't that mean the world is a better place because they are in it, because they were born and not aborted?
That I saw in the New York Times. The world is better because you are in it. I don't know what grade it was. I assume something like 5th grade. What a stupid message. Plus, it's not true. What has any 5th grader done to have made the world better because he or she is in it? Boy, again, as I pointed out, it's the opposite of the way many of us were raised. If my father had said to me...
Yes, it is clear that your parents didn't love you, Dennis Prager. That is obvious, my friend.
Oh, Dennis, the world is better because you are in it. I would have believed that even though he was never drunk, that he was actually drunk.
Maybe he was on crack.
I was on crack.
Right.
I don't even... Why do you even bring that up on your radio show? Why is that something you're bitching about? A motivational sign in a 5th grade classroom. Takes Dennis Prager off. I wish these people could feel embarrassment. I really do. Dennis Prager ran some people off. We lost viewers because of Dennis Prager. All right, a couple more updates on some things that we need to touch on. We talked about fuck them kids. Ain't started no businesses yet. They ain't got any economic output unless you're one of the migrant children in Alabama that they put to work in the Hyundai plant. Also, Covenant had another banger I didn't get a fucking acknowledge. God damn, you're a comedian. Stick around. I like you. You might just earn a spot as the host of this show. On Thursday, we talked about the railroad strike and how it has been tentatively avoided. There is a cooling off period, and I didn't get a sense of what it is. It just said a few weeks. I didn't get an actual date, but there is a cooling off period, and then all of the unions involved, and we learned from the United Rail Workers union rep the other day, there's like fucking 5 different unions. I might be wrong on the number, but there were multiple unions that have to sign off on this agreement. Now, Joe Biden thinks a rail strike has been averted, but do rail workers? We're reading from labornotes.org. Just after 5 a.m. on Thursday, Marty Walsh tweeted that the railroad companies and the railroad unions had come to a tentative agreement with less than 19 hours from a potential shutdown. Sorry, I had to belch there. Moments ago, following more than 20 consecutive hours of negotiations at the Department of Labor, the rail companies and union negotiators came to a tentative agreement that balances the needs of workers, businesses, and our nation's economy. The Biden administration applauds all parties for reaching this hard-fought, mutually beneficial deal. Our rail system is integral to our supply chain, and a disruption would have had a catastrophic impact on industries, travelers, and families across the country. The actual language agreed upon by the National Carriers Conference Committee and the Brotherhood of Locomotive Engineers and Trainmen and Smart TD bargaining committees has not been released to the public nor the membership, to some members' frustration. So we can only speculate based on press releases and officials' public comments, but the general consensus is that the deal makes 2 main improvements upon the Presidential Emergencies Board recommendations. One is the addition of some number of unpaid sick days, time off policy. It looked like one. It looked like they were going to get one. Time off policies in general and sick time in particular have been a focus of discussion. During negotiations, union leaders told the Washington Post they abandoned their demand for 15 paid sick days, but maintained that members should be allowed to attend routine medical appointments without jeopardizing their employment. The other improvement in the deal is a limit to healthcare cost increase. The PEB agreement recommended that workers should pay 15% of the healthcare premium payments. Currently, railroad workers pay about $230 per month for both family and individual plans. The deal has workers paying the 15%, but a release from the Brotherhood of Railway Signalmen says it caps the monthly amount workers will pay at $398.97. Also, a 24% pay raise. Members of most unions haven't received much, if any, official communication about the timeline of the extended cooling off period, voting periods, or renewed strike authorizations. I hope it happens before the election. A general chairman of the BMWE said on a membership call that by mid-afternoon on Thursday, 10 hours after Walsh's announcement, the union's headquarters said it didn't have the final language of the deal, nor had any tentative agreement language been released as of Friday afternoon. The 2 unions appear to have set voting timelines. The BMWE plans to send mail ballots and begin electronic and telephone voting on Tuesday, September 20th. With a vote count scheduled for October 10th. The Brotherhood of Railroad Signalmen announced a similar timeline. So if you'd like to read up more on what's going on.
Joe Biden thinks a rail strike has been averted.
I accidentally hit the read out loud thing.
September 6th.
But you guys can read the whole article there. And one last thing I want to hit on before we get out of here for the night. I'll keep you guys company for 15 until we get to the Plex, though. This Echoplex is already on. I'm fucking confused on time. I think it's 15 more minutes, though. Hurricane Fiona knocks out Puerto Rican electricity. Entirely. The entire island without electricity. Oh, I'm sorry, Hilda Beast. Did you want to see the interview with the MAGA rapper? I kept talking about he kept getting disgusted. I was like, why are you disgusted by gay people? And like he would say some shit, and I'm like, but dick is yummy. Like I suck dick. and he ran away. We have about an hour and 20 minutes to summarize the Christian MAGA rapper that was here earlier. And like I'm gonna clip that for YouTube. You guys can go back and watch it. It was a weird discussion. So none of my usual tricks. Usually Christians are stupid. Like they're not up on their Bible. Bryson was very much up on his Bible, and he didn't fall for any of my usual tricks. So like I asked him who wrote the book of Matthew, and religious people believe it was Matthew, but scholars, believe unknown authors and which is the correct fucking answer. So he was quite knowledgeable, but if you watch it, he doesn't come off as a very nice person. And we believe he has some sort of repression going on, whether it be gay or perhaps maybe even sexuality in general seem to give him the ickies. So that's to. It was not me owning a chud the way I was hoping it would go. But also I don't think I looked stupid. I don't think I looked stupid at all. Our first bone of contention was he said we were founded as a Christian country, and I'm like, fucking Jefferson was agnostic, and then we went down a rabbit hole for 10-15 minutes arguing about, was Jefferson a Christian or was he fucking agnostic? And I had to read from a whole bunch of shit from Monticello, and I'm like, it's telling you right here. It's a lot of different beliefs. You can't really say what Jefferson was. He was clearly quite schooled in religion, but he didn't quite believe in Christianity, obviously. You call him more agnostic or deist or pantheistic would be more accurate. I was probably wrong to call him agnostic after reading all the shit from Monticello. I was gonna challenge him on that, and I thought about it, but I didn't know if I was off or not. I thought the idea that Moses had wrote the first 5 books was that was part of the mythology, that wasn't actually true. But I'm not as well versed on Old Testament as I am New Testament, but I thought that was a thing. I was pretty certain that the Moses wrote the books was part of the mythology and not any kind of accurate history. But also I'm arguing with somebody who takes the Bible very literally, that believes there was an actual literal flood. I gave him the examples of a third of Pakistan is underwater right now. Mississippi's underwater. And also he did not seem to care about the people that I care about. The workers, the poor people. As he sat there in his Gucci shirt and showing off his Yeezy sneakers and shit. So it was a very weird conversation. But it's also very funny anytime we brought up sexuality and he squirmed. The arrival of Hurricane Fiona has knocked out all electricity. And also, the thing that made him leave was I called him cute. And I was like, I might have been shooting my shot. And maybe I was trying to converge. He's like, oh, nah, man, I got to leave now. Anyway, it's no laughing matter because Puerto Rico, Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, 3, 4, 5 years ago? I don't even remember how long it's been now. They still have not recovered from that hurricane. And there are a lot of issues with corruption of tech bros coming onto the island and taking over the local political apparatuses to get into. But now, as Hurricane Fiona made landfall earlier today, Puerto Rico left without electricity the entire island. I don't know if that holds true now, but that was true 3 or 4 fucking hours ago. The operator of the island's grid, Luma Energy, said the system had lost power as winds reached 86 miles per hour. Forecasters warned of as much as 2 feet of rain and catastrophic flooding for the U.S. territory. Joe Biden has already declared a state of emergency for the island, allowing authorities to provide disaster relief. It could take several days to restore power to the Caribbean islands' population of 3.3 million people, according to Luma Energy. And one of the problems that they are facing is an incredibly dilapidated, outdated, and patchwork electrical grid in Puerto Rico, which should not be a thing in the United States. Ports have been closed and flights out of the island's main airport have been canceled. These rains will be producing life-threatening and catastrophic flash flooding. Puerto Rico's governor said public schools and government agencies would remain closed on Monday. Pedro Pierluisi urged residents to seek shelter as soon as possible. On the French island of Guadeloupe, one person was killed when his house was swept away by severe flooding. Hurricane Fiona has hit Puerto Rico just 5 years after Hurricane Maria, the worst in the island's history, caused devastation there. 3 weeks after the disaster, only about 10% of Puerto Ricans had electricity. The national grid still remains fragile, with outages a daily occurrence. Torrential rains and mudslides are also forecast for the Dominican Republic as the hurricane progresses northwest, with the Turks and I never can say it right. Turks and cow. That's not it. That is not it. That's me mocking.
Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos. The Turks and Caicos Islands. I'm sorry. I'm like fucking doing the news for you guys. It's such a downer. Is Echoplex on? Well, even if they come on at the top of the hour, they're probably already broadcasting. But I'll keep you guys company until Producer Dave and Media Winch actually come on. But they're already on. Producer Dave's on. That's right. I get my times confused. So if you are watching on Twitch or heading over to... Oh, I owe you a fucking animal video. I'm so sorry. I'm such a bad host. Let me get you an animal video queued up here. Because that's how we do things around here. I don't even know what it is. It's surprising all of us. Had to kill it before the Mission Impossible music. Oh, it's a puppy trying to get a cat. I got a cat for you. Here's a Smokey. Smokey, the camera's up here. Look at him. You're not a good co-host, buddy. You're not a good co-host. You guys have no clue how vocal this cat is. Yet I can never get him to say anything on stream. Talks to me all the fucking time. Won't ever fucking shut up. Can't get him to say anything on the stream. What a dickhead. You're watching on Twitch. We're heading over to Echoplex Media. Producer Dave gonna take real good care of you. I will be back tomorrow night. Full links, full news, kind of troll patrol going on. It's a Monday, so you know there's all kinds of shit gonna happen. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. Message me on Discord tones, please. I welcome it. Also, I don't get on Discord much, but you know, I will message you eventually, probably within 24 hours. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. I'm Justin Freakin. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live.